How to use that shit, bro.
Yeah. And we're live. So ish, right? Well, I mean, we're here.
Right.
I don't think we're brave enough to do live yet.
We can't do live. We don't have the gear. Unless we do Zoom in the same room.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That would be terrible. A bunch of little squares with Hollywood squares.
Oh yeah.
So
do it one day.
So welcome to the ateasecast. You know, I'm Hesco. That's James. And we got our guest here, Farmer. Today's special day, of course, for Farmer.
Yut.
Speaking of which,
yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that! Look at that! Welcome to the podcast. Got a little gift for you.
So anybody out there's watching, Marines get treated appropriately with birthday cake.
There's a birthday Kit Kat there.
Show the camera.
Right.
Woo! How many is it? 248.
I got two of them for you.
What is it? 248.
248.
248.
And a gift.
Oh, look at that. Yes. Don't eat them all at once.
Hearts and minds.
What does it say on the box?
Color of kindness.
Colors of kindness.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man. That's,
I figured I'd keep that as a surprise.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
That's fantastic.
You share the Kit Kat stickers.
So,
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Put it down. We'll eat it eventually.
so we just gave. So I'm gonna have to do this a little different now because we got a lot of audio only fans and stuff like that. Just listen to our podcast through our different audio programs that we got. We're on Spotify and on Amazon Music, soon to be on iHeartRadio and maybe Apple. But who knows?
Yeah, we're trying to push out to as many platforms as we can to try to spread the.
So today being the Marine Corps
content.
birthday, Farmer being a Marine, we just got a podcast gift of a box of crayons.
A special box of crayons.
Special box of crayons with the colors of kindness.
Oh yes.
Colors of Kindness 24-pack crayons.
That's right.
And Crayola, so they're the good ones.
Yeah.
Oh, it just hits differently. I mean,
You have to find out which one's your favorite flavor now.
well, yeah.
Read on the back. I think it has the flavors on the back. On the back, man. That's the side.
Well, no.
But of course.
No, they're labeled. That's all the labels.
Well, just give us a few of them. You ain't got to read the whole thing. I know you're...
Spread your wings.
Spread your wings?
Spread your wings.
Okay.
Breathe deep.
Try not to. Lung damage
Have
from
a
burn
scoop
pits.
of fun.
So,
Best buddies.
What was that thing that Westpac Marines do?
What?
Cobra Gold?
Yeah, that's a different flavor there. That's
A slice of nice.
Yeah, that's exactly what they call it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Keep going if you want to.
They have one. It's supposed to be seize the day, but it's spelled like the sea, like being on a ship type sea.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, having served alongside freaking all branches of the military in my time, I gotta honestly say the Marine Corps is probably the most fun. They have karate belts. They have
yes, we do.
they have birthdays. They have they have proms.
Yep.
You know, it's they.
First time I celebrated Marine Corps birthday with the Marines, it was November 28th. I think we celebrated Marine Corps birthday because all of us were in Fallujah for November 10th.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Speaking with the Okinawa Marines, just had their birthday ball canceled.
What? Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Operational reasons.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
No. You add that to the list.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go over something. I had a plan for the day I went over with you, but...
Yeah, so before we kick it off, so since Farmer's a little guest, well, not a little guest, dude, like 6'3".
Yeah, he's like 6'3" or something.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. See who you are and what you've done. You know.
Well, Obviously, I was in the Marine Corps,
Mm-hmm.
6 years. I was a signals intel guy. I was on a collections team. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot to go on with that, but I've also done a couple other blue collar trades after the Marine Corps,
Mm-hmm.
driving tow truck and being a painter for a little while. That was interesting. And welding, and somehow now got into law enforcement.
And that's how we met.
Yeah,
Through law enforcement.
That's how
Yeah.
we met.
Now, you said you were what in the Marines?
Signals intel.
Briefly, what is that? And why is that on the battlefield today?
If it transmits a radio frequency signal, so basically anything cellular, Wi-Fi, handheld communications, we are tasked with collecting, intercepting, and deciphering.
Okay.
So that's a large task, and it's obviously broke down into smaller bits, but
Collecting, intercepting, and deciphering. And then doing what with it?
disseminating to the infantry guys.
Cool.
So for the lame man, in all battlefiels.
So the lame man?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
layman.
Layman.
The
In
layman.
I
layman's
think
terms.
so lame.
Well, the layman. It's freaking Jeeves over here. So, goddamn.
Watch it come
So-
up in like the auto subtitles.
Yeah. You gotta put the
Copyright
the
infringement.
donut quacks like, quack for every time I mispronounce a word. So so for the layman, it's just all battlefields have commanders use. You guys are familiar with over-the-top real-time strategy games, if I were to put it in the simplest terms. You try to find out where the bad guys are, try to find out where they are in relationship to the good guys. And that's a constant thing that gets developed through eyes-on confirmation and through signals intelligence collection. So it's try to give more of an operational view to the commanders making decisions for maneuver elements on where the bad guys are in relationship to their guys. A lot of that stuff kind of came into play after once we started with third generation warfare or fifth generation warfare.
When you started in modern warfare, started in World War II, right?
Yeah. Well, after World War II, mainly.
I don't know the history of that job field. So.
After World War II, and there was a lot of lessons learned through the Vietnam era and stuff like that, where units kept overextending their flanks and overextending their friendly positions, mainly because commanders didn't have in time, like up to date location of where they are.
Yeah, they're sending troops in the blind.
So there were a lot of times, they're sending troops in the blind, depending on the geography. That could be, very devastating to certain units. Hence the story of the Lost Battalion and some of these other things. So those are misgivings in a battle board. Basically, the commander has lost track of where people are, and the commander on the ground with that maneuver element lost track of where he is in relationship to everybody that surrounds him. So that's where signals intelligence pays. It pays to have them on the field collecting and continuously updating
Right.
where the bad guys are.
Yeah.
Because they take care of that, and they can say, hey, there's a lot of cell phone traffic going on after you guys dropped that bomb over here,
Right.
and it's coming from this area over here.
If somebody wants a popular media way
Yeah.
to just kind of view signals intelligence and what it's done in the past, at least one big movie that I can think of that highlights signals intelligence is the movie Midway. I think it was in 2018 or 2019. It's a modern movie, pretty recently done.
No, it is.
Yeah. But it really highlights the importance and the critical nature of signals intelligence.
Because back then they didn't believe in it.
Right.
The unit I was a part
Which is
of,
what got Pearl Harbor bombed. Yeah.
the unit that I was with traces its roots back to the original platoon of Marines
Really.
back then, and they didn't believe in it. They're like, no, there's no way,
Yeah.
because people's pride and ego got in the way of good info.
Right.
Plus, it was new. But the principle of what we call indications and warnings, which was my primary tasking, was we would go out with a maneuver element, and when they were doing their mission or whatever it may be, we were collecting on immediate radio traffic on their response.
Right.
So being able to tell the infantry guys, hey, we're about to get ambushed from the left. Next thing you know, they try an ambush and they just meet all the guns. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But it's a trade-off. If you're rolling with a SIGINT folks on a convoy, you can't run the jammers. It's counterintuitive to our job.
Right.
But that takes a lot of trust because a lot of these guys
That
got
your information that you're going to be passing out is more important than their jamming.
right, and that we're quicker than the jammers just blanket operation.
Right.
So it's still very relevant today. It just has gotten a lot more difficult with encryptions and stuff like that. But it's very much still needed.
Yeah, I mean, you're breaking through stereotypes too. So there's a stereotype of military intelligence being an oxymoron, and then people grow up in the Marine Corps, the Army, and the Air Force. They grow up knowing that from years of getting bad intel and stuff like that, and now you got an intel element giving actionable on time. This is what's happening real time information, and a lot of people question that. So they
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, because for a long time, human was the cat's meow of the intel world per se. At least in the eyes of the infantry, they wanted human. They felt it was more reliable. But once they started realizing that SIGINT is truly more reliable, the fact that when you're calling your buddy on the phone, you're not talking in code generally. You're talking straight.
Right.
Whereas in interrogation, when you're talking face to face to someone, they'll lie to you.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering what human and SIGINT is, it's signals intelligence and human intelligence. Human intelligence
Yes.
is people going and talking to people. Signals is intercepting signals and reading them.
Yeah, so that's a pretty neat career field to have been a part of, and
Certainly fascinating.
Yeah, you got operational experience. Whereabouts in the world?
Iraq and Afghanistan both.
Right.
Iraq was mostly around the Ramadi area.
Ooh, I've been there.
Yep. And then Afghanistan was Marja, mostly.
Marja. Yeah.
It was in Habaniya in Iraq. It's right between Ramadi and Fallujah.
Yeah. Been out there.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So
Fun place.
that's
It was a great place actually for signals.
In 04.
where Ramadi,
No, Habaniya.
Habaniya.
Even though it was
Oh, I bet.
a shitty place to be,
Yeah.
it was a great place for signals. It'd skip off the lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got Lake Habaniya right there, just south of Chaldea and Habaniya.
I drove a lot through Habaniya, but
Never stopped.
never stopped.
I drove a lot through it too.
Yeah.
Always stopped.
Yeah, we didn't. We try not to. But
You're driving a little bit more appropriate vehicle.
yeah.
Yeah.
For the situation. Oh yeah, it was great.
oh yeah,
70 tons of armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a big ass cannon on it. Perfect.
No, I'm a light skinned Pajero.
Yeah.
going, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Fucking goddamn butthole so tight, crushed diamonds.
Oh man, I thought we were cool. We had the road bumpers for our Humvees. Mind you, everyone else had MRAPs at the time.
Oh yeah.
We're in Humvees and we're like, oh, we got road bumpers.
Yeah. I remember when we started using the rhinos on to break the IR.
Oh yeah.
That little box of freaking heated batteries or whatever.
Yeah.
That to break the IR line. So what the bad guys were using was the garage door IR beams that'll stop a garage door from crushing babies. So they would put that across a piece of roadway, and as soon as it was broken, then the IED would go off. So we had these boxes that would break that laser and set off the IED theoretically. Well, the bad guys were like, well, shit, let's just angle it at them.
Yeah.
So the pipe is 17 or 11 feet long,
Right.
sticking out the front of your car. They just, instead of hitting your side, directly lateral to your car, now they just angle it. And as soon as your damn box breaks it, boom, and you're just eating the ID anyways.
Yeah.
It's
And then the adaptability.
yeah, they
Or they space it.
Yeah.
well, they space them pretty good, or they'll lay it further down as
Mhm.
the sensor's down there, and as soon as you break it, it hits the meat of your convoy.
Right.
It's dude, I'm telling you, them bad guys get crafty. But in Afghanistan, I found out that a lot of they're a lot more primitive with their signals than Iraq. Iraq, they had access to a lot more technology.
Iraq had more infrastructure.
Right. Like
So-
Afghanistan, they use those old ICOMs a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And like I remember plenty of times just being out there and just listening to the Terp with the ICOM. The ICOM is just fucking blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, they're talking. I was like, yeah, we just got made.
Oh, yeah. But the beauty of that with the SIGINT guys is we had equipment that would give you a back azimuth.
Yeah.
So like, oh, there they are. And there they're not.
Yeah, so I tested some of the gear that we would get, so the SIGINT guys could relate those back azimuths to us.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, okay, well, they're over here, and you're over here before the gear. You just had to plot the grid and get your grease pan out and start freaking doing your cross sections and start doing things, and then because they're reading Falcon View, which is the GPS, but we couldn't read our own Falcon View, so we couldn't see our GPS positioning. But SIGINT could, and the jock could, the talk or whatever the Marines call it, but the skiff, they could see where we're at, but we couldn't see it, so we're still relying on maps. So like, okay, well, they're behind you in this grid, and you're like, shoot. So now you get that grid, you plot it. I was like, okay, well, where the fuck are we? I'm like, all right, so let's get our GPS out, and we freaking do that, and then while somebody's getting the GPS from the satellite, somebody's fucking plotting, and well, all right, they're 700 meters back that way.
Well, and I think to put in perspective of what you mean by getting the GPS location, because it's so easy nowadays.
Yeah.
I forget what the name of that big old thing was.
Plugger.
The plugger. Oh my goodness, yes.
Plugger.
It was huge.
Antenna could
It had to warm up.
You had the big ass buttons.
Yeah.
I don't know, have you ever used the plugger? You probably had one on the
mounted.
wall,
Yeah,
mounted,
yeah.
right? Well, we carried that VCR freaking chunk of shit, and you had to learn to read the circles to know how many satellites you got, and then just sitting there wondering like a freaking pendejo with this thing.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like,
And if you're lucky, you had the chart.
the chart.
The chart for the satellites.
So then you're like, okay, so here we go. And then I need a grid. And left button and up button, left down, up down, up, right, fucking A, B, and select, start. Boom. It's like,
wasn't the cheat code for
the cheat code for Contra.
Yeah.
Like you had to enter a button combination just to get the damn grid. Then we went to the Garmin Rhinos, which was all right, and then Garmin came out with a smaller version that could be either on your wrist or usually on the buttstock of somebody's rifle, with a Velcro strap,
Yep.
and that would give you a pretty quick. But the Rhinos, we found out that a small cloud, you're
really
you're back to square one. You know what I mean? Like, or you walk under canopy.
just the slightest interference.
Like if
Well, there wasn't a lot of satellites.
Right.
Well, you're in the forest. As soon as you
But
get
my time in Iraq, we didn't have anything like that.
yeah, but if you get into thick stuff,
Yeah.
that's done too. So you had
We
to
had
be
old school maps.
you had to be clear, had clear line of sight to the sky to get something decent.
Well, you were in a tank though too.
Well,
so.
then I was in an older tank, even for the standard of the day. So the M1A2 was out when I was in Iraq, but my unit wasn't on the M1A2. It was on the M1A, 1A8.
They didn't even paint them tan.
No, they didn't even paint them tan. There's pictures I can prove it. Yeah, they were still woodland green because we all came out of Korea. So I mean, Korea back then, the units in Korea were treated like National Guard units.
Right.
So they got the secondhand equipment, and they got stuff that really was done with the front lines because Korea never deployed. Well, guess what? Second Brigade
Well,
did.
plus it's look from a risk aspect. It's outside of the continental United States. There is some sort of risk of not getting it back.
Yeah, or just leaving it there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
or look at the
Koreans-
consequences of that.
The South Koreans produce a tank that's fairly comparable to the American Abrams. It is a nice tank. The K2, that is a nice tank. There's a left seat or left side of the vehicle driver's hole,
Mm-hmm.
and really just by like a layman looking at it, that's really the only difference between that and an Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the K2 is a bit smaller, but I mean, it's a nice tank.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Well, yeah.
No idea how effective it would be, but we haven't had a chance to try it
It's
yet.
always effective against infantry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. AKA crunchies.
Mhm.
Yeah. Damn it.
And they really earned the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bones Crunch.
But aside from that, just kind of catching up just to see, kind of bring you up to the podcast and just kind of see what breakdowns of we got a lot going on in the world right now. Like we have so many different tactical environments sprouting all over the world, and just trying to get your perspective on how SIGINT and basically your line of work relates to how some of this stuff is being how the operations would
Right.
be.
So we're going to go over like quite a few
Yeah.
topics, and
But we got a lot of things to cut through.
there are pieces there that
But
we have an idea where it's leading, and we want to get your perspective on where it's
Yeah.
where it's leading.
yeah. So maybe we'll get down to maybe what people could do to kind of prepare a little bit. Things they can do. Yeah.
It's
Right.
It's hard. It's hard to disconnect. That's the only thing that gets you is to disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And what people think is disconnecting these days is not disconnecting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But we'll get down to it. So what are the topics for today? What you got?
So
what's the top on the top of the list for today?
local stuff.
Local stuff.
Being the Nashville shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that crazy bitch went into a Christian elementary school
Mm-hmm.
and shot up a bunch of kids. She killed 6 kids, or killed 6 people total.
Right.
Everybody was crying about her manifesto. Like, the police said they had her manifesto, but it wasn't being released. Well, 3 pages of it got leaked to Steven Crowder, and Steven Crowder put all of it up for people to see. And like pretty much any image you find of it on the internet has Louder with Crowder, watermarked across the images, and good on him for doing that. But yeah, 3 pages of it got released, and it has quite a bit of information telling where her mindset was at when she did this, what she did to plan for this, and what her objectives were in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were starting to make the argument now, it's like this had been released earlier, you might be able to actually like indicate and stop other shooters with these same or similar intentions, or using these same strategies to go about their shooting, because she does a timestamp checklist of her pregame up to the shooting. So, and like I think that's the first page. The second page is, I can barely read this stuff, but like I wouldn't want to put the pictures up on our video,
that's
'cause
fine.
there's a lot of well, not information. There's a lot of words here that are really, really bad. So like even stuff that we don't say, and we say most cuss words, but we don't say this kind of shit. But yeah, she was extremely racist towards white people, even though she was white, and she uses a lot of homosexual demeaning expletives. The old one we used to say as kids all the time, but nobody can say now.
Okay.
Yeah, the F word, the other one.
Yeah.
She uses that quite a bit. So I mean, she's LGBTQ, she's trans, so I don't know why she's using that word, but I mean,
it rhymes with maggot.
yeah, it rhymes with maggot.
Isn't it a bundle of cigarettes as well?
A what?
It's Russian for a bundle of cigarettes.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. That's right.
What?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. It's
Is that
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. That's Redcoat. He knows.
does he?
Oh yeah. All about it.
I thought they just used the shortened form.
That's for singular.
Oh,
That's
is
for,
it?
that's for one. Yeah.
I had no idea. I learned something. I've never heard that before.
That's the extent of my knowledge now.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends.
Tapped out.
Thank you for being with us today.
Right.
Appreciate it. Say goodbye to Farmer.
Right.
He's going to sleep now.
And I'm done.
You just like give him another 10 minutes of reboot.
Yeah, right.
It's just-
Yeah. But yeah, her whole thing is
Right.
killing what she believes are overprivileged white children. She says it over and over again. These kids are using their white privilege in this private school, this fancy private school, and coming to school in their daddy's Mustang and what other vehicles she mentioned, but it doesn't really matter. And their khaki sports backpacks, khakis and sports backpacks, and it's just she's really hating on her own life because that's exactly what she was. She was a very privileged young white girl who was going to that school. She used to go to that school. So I mean, it's nuts that this has been kept from the public for a long time and kept from the media for a long time until it got released to a guy like Steven Crowder who does private journalism.
Yeah. I mean, it's a symptom, man. There's a popular meme out there, and you start looking into it, and it's mostly true. I wouldn't say it's 100% true, but if Democrats would stop shooting people, it wouldn't be no more shootings. When you look at the politics of those actors that are conducting some of these heinous acts, a lot of them are left leaning. There's some commonality to that. I mean, but it's not 100% across the board, of course, because there's always that one right wing freaking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs guy that's out there, and that's done stuff. So it takes old folks, from all kinds of walks, to go crazy. But the thing is that they silence this stuff because it doesn't fit their narrative. And in reality, the only people that think that they're going to be offended by that narrative is themselves. Because us conservatives, we don't care. We just want to know so we can help protect people from the next one.
Right.
Like they have this perceived notion that they're being persecuted or they're being chased around by conservatives, that we're so diametrically opposed to their views that we're gonna assault them on sight. No. That's not the case. We want to know, not to bash you, but to prevent the next one. So
yeah,
they hide this stuff from they silence people, and they.
Like that one in the church a couple years back that got stopped by a dude.
Oh, the one in Texas?
Yeah.
The one that chased the guy. Didn't he chase him?
I think it was two separate ones.
One, you're talking about the one who got dropped right in the middle.
In the middle of the church.
That was on video. Yeah, the whole thing was on video.
Yeah, that was.
Like he walked in with a trench coat and a rifle ready to
Shotgun.
go, and
Yep.
and
I think
dude
he let
just
off
dropped
one.
him.
He let off one or two shots, and then he was dropped.
Something like that. He got off one or two shells, and then somebody was armed. In the congregation.
Some old dude with
some older guy. It's like 60, 70 years old, but he's a crack shot because he made that shot from like 50 meters away with one round.
Oh yeah,
but
it's like a micro Kimber 1911 or something like that.
It was crazy that he wasn't the only one that was drawing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the video, there was like 3 or 4 other dudes that were just a smudge slower than
he was just
one
the quicker
guy.
one. Yep.
Yeah. So
but with one round.
Or the kid in the mall.
The kid in the mall.
Wait, which one? Because now I'm
I
thinking
can't
of that
remember.
prankster.
I forget.
And I saw the.
Oh no, I saw that one. That dude was the pranksters are idiots for that.
Oh yeah, the prankster.
We talked about that.
Yeah, he's told them dudes to go away, and he's pow.
Yeah.
That's bonkers. So
they found him not guilty on that.
Yeah, they did.
well, yeah, I mean,
I think we talked about it on our show.
Yeah.
we talked about it a little bit. It's just kind of like.
Yeah, he was found not guilty.
You're like, oh, well, stop pranking.
Like the only thing they charged him with, the only thing they got him on was like what?
Discharging a firearm
in public.
In public.
Was it in public or in a firearms restricted area?
No, in public.
No, in public.
Yeah, in public. All right.
Yeah.
It's such a lesser charge than attempted murder.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like
Well, they found him not guilty on the high charge.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Because the guy didn't die, so
no, he's just gut shot.
He's just like living in pain for a hot minute, and. But yeah, he told him to get away and told him to go away. And I'm like, bro, so you see that guy in the mall that's walking, that doesn't wave his arms?
Yeah, don't fuck with him.
Leave that fucking guy alone. Yeah. The dude with the neck beard, leave that dude alone.
Yeah.
The time for bullying him was back in middle school, high school.
Yeah.
He's had his fill of it.
He's had his fill, bro. That guy, that bounces on his toes, doesn't wave his arms, oily hair, neck beard.
Mm-hmm.
Leave that dude the fuck alone. So, you know, it's plain and simple, man. It's just people trying to get a rise out of folks. Or it's like, oh man, I used to bully these guys in high school all the time. Let's see what. Yeah, dude, that dude is
That's
old
so
enough
dumb, though.
old enough to own the gun that he shot you with.
Yeah.
So, it's
Yeah.
you know, come on, man. It's crazy, man. I don't understand, man. These folks, man. These pranksters, these internet pranksters.
Yeah.
They just irritate people. That's
yeah,
all they
it's just-
do.
Yeah, well, there was another one.
But it pays, man.
I mean, there was another one.
we were talking about that
that
specifically. It
Yeah.
pays.
yeah, that old dude that he had them kids drop like pretend that they were dumping fuel in his car.
Mm-hmm.
The guy got out with a 1911. Oh, like they took off. Oh no! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Yeah, don't shoot now.
Did you hear the end of that video when the guy was getting back into his car and holstering his 1911? The kid that ran away turned around and called him a pussy.
Right.
He about to blow a pussy hole in your fucking back, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to be big enough to take a dick in?
Yeah. Yeah. That. I mean, come on, man. That. Just leave people alone, man. But that's why we want to know a lot of these things, man. We want to know what the profiles of these people are, so we can keep an eye out and just try to prevent the next mass shooter to go do something bonkers.
On this, though, this girl's manifesto, what I'm looking at right here is a page that she called Death Day. And it lines out what I was saying, that timeline. It goes from 6:30 in the morning till 12:33 p.m. And it goes from, like, getting dressed to eating breakfast, playing with her stuffed animals, to prepping her guns, prepping her gear, testing her knives, whatever, looking for security, doing a pre-scouting ride, and
Leaders recon.
prep for final attack. Yeah, prep for final attack, final loadout, and then attack.
You fucking
At 12:30.
The PCIs. Fucking.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like, you know,
Well,
this-
she's still fucked up because she didn't do reverse planning, which is what would have helped her. Not to give tips to any potential active shooters out there.
well, I mean,
But you
Uh,
planned from the end to the beginning. You reverse plan.
Mm-hmm.
So you use the reverse timeline. And she didn't plan shit for the end of that day because she ended up getting stuck on a window freaking shooting down at cops. And
that's the thing. She didn't plan for the end of that day because that was the end of her day.
yeah.
The very last thing on here is 12:30, open fire towards something I can't really read, and it's circled XXX time to die. Her whole plan was to die. This is it. She was going to do this shooting, and she was going to die during it.
Yeah,
And she did.
fucking loser.
She absolutely met her plan. She died during her shooting. She intended to.
I think these people think that there's such thing as a glorious death.
Well, there is, but not for her.
Yeah. That's not it though.
There is, because there's a whole list of dudes with medals of honor.
Yeah.
That died glorious deaths. You jump on a freaking hand grenade, and you save your friends, and die yourself. That's a glorious death. I mean, your family may not think so. I mean, everybody that loves you may miss the hell out of you, but you did a great service to protect your friends to the left and the right. But to kill innocent, unarmed innocent people for no real reason.
Right.
Other
The
than
reasons she gives are completely batshit crazy,
just
bonkers as hell.
a little bit of research and maybe some retrospective, or even talking to somebody that doesn't flow in her circles, and her whole manifesto would have been blown out of the water.
Right.
Like, you can debunk everything that she
Yeah,
wrote on
yeah,
that thing
absolutely.
so quickly. It's come on. I mean, you meet half the requirements for
Right. That's what it seems to
the
me. It seems like
manifesto,
a lot of self-loathing.
like,
A lot of self-loathing.
yeah. That's I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, the I got people that defend the LGBTQ freaking IA now H for Hamas agenda, like I mean, they defend that thing freaking to the death. And when the reality is, you should recognize what's going on with you, and try to live your life. Nobody gives a shit. Stop trying to shove things down people's necks.
Yeah, I saw like L.A. had some protests or something about that.
Well, I mean, these dudes are all over the United States. They breached the Capitol the other day.
The recent protests, the Palestinian protests,
and the queers
They're all
for
over the
Palestine. The queers for Palestine.
yeah, they're all over the planet.
The most asinine thing I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh, it's so retarded.
The queers for Palestine. Are you out of your freaking mind?
People are finding out pretty quick. You saw that. I don't remember where it happened.
I forget where it was.
It was probably like UK or something like that. But there was a pro-Palestinian protest going on, and then some queers for Palestine people tried to show up and started waving their newly remodeled gay flag. And boy, oh boy, was that the quickest thing taken out of there? Ripped down, destroyed. They got kicked out of there.
So they don't play well with each other, don't they? Huh?
I mean,
oh yeah. That's what the fuck I thought.
Huh?
It goes against their virtues.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
These folks are pretty open about their feelings towards homosexuals and homosexuality.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty open about it. They'll kill you.
Yes.
They will throw you off a roof.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky, they'll just shoot you.
Right. That's the best outcome, is just to die.
It's insanity. It's what it is.
Oh, for sure.
It's flat out insanity. Now, you can't tell me that there isn't a mental health component to this. When you look at the empirical data, you cannot be a homosexual, be a communist.
No. No, you wouldn't survive it.
You can't even be disabled, technically.
Yeah, you wouldn't survive the transition.
It's yeah, the dudes.
I'm glad you got that.
Pun intended. Well played, sir. Well played, sir.
Very
I thought I
nice.
was the only one entitled to dad jokes around here.
He's got some by proxy here.
I got plenty of knuckle babies running around.
Yeah,
So.
this guy. Oh, he's sitting on some right now. It's freaking disgusting, man. God.
Hey, that's what the boxes are for. Keep it from staining the jeans.
Oh my God. It gets worse. But yeah, I'll tell you, man.
My
It's
mom's
just,
watching the show now, so
it's insane.
stole her
Man.
phone and made her subscribe.
Yeah, it's insane, man. But I'm glad that manifest is out, and at least we get to kind of get a peek inside what that maniac was thinking. And
I said I don't want to read these verbatim because they're too ridiculous. You can find them almost anywhere. Just simple Google search Nashville Shooter Manifesto. That's it. Where I found the full documents that are unedited is on thetruthaboutguns.com.
Can you link it on the description?
I will.
Okay, so
I'll save it.
So we'll link it on the description if you guys want to read it and see the craziness that this person was up to. Then you guys can give it a gander if you care. But I mean, she's no martyr of anybody. So
No.
I mean, her face didn't even make it on a T-shirt. So.
She's a simple murderer.
Well, no, it doesn't look good on the T-shirt.
Well, not in her current state.
Well, obviously, but I'm saying, like what James was saying, it doesn't fit the narrative.
No, of course not. No, of course not. So,
People aren't going to skip work for that. Oh, they would have to have work first.
No, but, there's that. But what's next on the agenda, man?
All
What we
right.
got?
So this one is one of the things that I really wanted Nick's attention on. Or Farmer's attention. You can edit that.
Yeah.
But, we do it all the time. Well, he does it all the time.
We use our new beeps.
Yeah. Yeah. Good chance to test those out. Those are hilarious. Yeah. So, there was a treaty between NATO allied states and Russia, and it was called the Conventional Forces Europe Agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that Conventional Forces Europe Agreement was started in like 70 something. It started in the Cold War, and they've negotiated back and forth up until very, very recently, like last month or earlier this month. Yeah, last month. So what that did was it limited NATO's ability to stockpile troops and material in Europe for the reason of fighting Russia. So it made a limit on how many troops Europe could have and how much equipment Europe could have stockpiled, especially American equipment.
Like Warhammer 40K or something? Like you can only bring these many troops to the table?
Yes.
That's gay as AIDS.
That's what kept the peace during the Cold War, though. It was part of what kept the peace during the Cold War. But yeah, Conventional Forces Europe Agreement made a limit on how many forces that NATO could have in Europe and how many forces and materials that Russia could have in Russia, or the Soviet Union could have, stockpile and stuff like that. It's also what helped start doing the nuclear arms proliferation thing, where like all the countries were limited to how many nukes they could have, and the United States and Russia both simultaneously, and they're actually doing it, were decommissioning their nuclear weapons and disassembling them and destroying them, or repurposing the materials for something else.
Right.
But they just didn't have that many nukes on stockpile as they used to have, because both countries had thousands and thousands, which is enough to completely carpet bomb the entire Earth and turn it into a nuclear wasteland. Like 20 or 30 times over both countries.
I think there was a side product to that. It's just, I think the numbers may have gone down, but the potency.
Right, and I think so.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think American nukes probably didn't get bigger, but the rockets that deliver them got a lot more accurate.
Wow.
And the Russian nukes just got bigger and bigger and bigger. The biggest one that was ever detonated was the Tsar Bomba, and that thing was, I don't know how many megatons that thing was, but it was huge.
Yeah.
Like, even the Russians were like, "Yeah, we've had enough. We're not doing that twice." Really, like they detonated it, and the aircraft that dropped it barely got out of the blast zone. Barely got out.
Ooh.
It was a huge bomb. Like, this is a bomb big enough to destroy New York and D.C. in one go.
Ooh.
Like, the bomb's radius stretches that far that it can wipe out New York and D.C. That's nuts. That's a huge bomb.
I want to be as close to that detonation as
No
possible.
shit, right? At least instant.
Oh yeah.
Maybe my skeleton will turn to glass. That'll be awesome.
I want to die as fast as the people in that submarine died. Like,
Pretty quick, yeah.
it was like calculated at 0.21 nanoseconds.
Your nerves don't even work that fast.
It's like,
Yeah.
and the normal pain response was like, don't quote me, but I think it was like 0.51.
Yeah.
So it was before your nerves get a chance to
register
actually
the pain.
appreciate
Yeah.
what the hell's going on to you. You're gone.
Yeah.
That's how fast I want to go in a nuclear war. Like,
Like you're dead before the water even touches you.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's how fast I want to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be out there like
Nice.
freaking, like damn Book of Eli and shit, wandering around and shit.
Oh my gosh. Blind.
Wondering, well, no, not even.
Oh, I wouldn't be Eli. I'd be one of the dickheads that.
Yeah.
Eli'd be some other guy. I'd probably be some road bandit or something.
Yeah, but it's just wandering around, freaking making freaking chapstick out of cattle.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Searching for water everywhere. Water.
I'm doing a divining rod.
Drill sergeant told me to stay hydrated. I should have listened.
Yeah. Nah, I'm good.
And I think.
so the CF, I'm sorry, I did.
Oh no, go ahead.
The CFE treaty. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this is part of what kept the peace between NATO and the Soviet Union. Well, now, within a month from today, both NATO and Russia have backed off from the CFE treaty.
Right.
They no longer abide by it. Neither one of them.
But were they?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. They were both abiding by it.
I don't believe the Russians.
Yeah. No. The Russians don't believe the
by
Russians.
all evidence, they were.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
But by all intents and purposes, they were abiding by it. So was NATO, and now both countries have pulled out of that CFE treaty.
Interesting.
Oh.
So what's the next?
I don't know if it changes a whole lot for NATO though.
That's the thing.
At least
Poland has been sprucing up their forces pretty extensively.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think that changes much for America.
Well, no, not much does. I mean, we're an isolation country. Like, we're
Right.
not isolationist policy, but we are an isolated country.
But we strive both with the Marine Corps and then with the airborne folks. We keep our folks at home until they're needed.
No,
we
we
just
don't.
send them over. I'm saying in large masses.
In large amount, yeah. You're talking about like actual, like a full brigade deployments or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that you can only have so many troops over there. That's fine.
Yeah.
If it goes sideways, we'll have more there in like a day or two.
And we already have more off the coast of the Mediterranean, so.
Yeah, 2 carrier groups.
2 carrier groups.
Mm-hmm.
The Ford and the
And then publicly said, hey, one of our nuclear subs are here too.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
The Eisenhower and the Ford are both in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So, being a Marine, were you ever fleet?
No.
Okay. You had friends that were in fleet, though.
Yeah,
you know
on
about
the
Marines
Muse and
because
stuff
you
like
know
that.
more about Marines and fleet than I would. I know about tanks and shit. That's about it. So, about how many Marines would be in a carrier group assigned to a Ford class carrier, which is the biggest, most advanced one we have.
Shoot.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. It's usually like a battalion.
Because what I'm curious about, because I know Marines are assigned to LHDs,
Yeah.
to the amphibious assault craft. I don't know how many LHDs would be in a carrier group. I don't know if LHDs have their own groups. I simply don't know. And I would like to know how
You
many
know, I
Marines
don't
would be
know.
attached to a carrier
I think it's, well, on a MU, so it goes by a MU, Marine Expeditionary Unit,
Right.
which I would imagine is what goes with the carrier group.
So
Usually
you're
about a
taking a better guess
battalion.
than I am. About a battalion?
Yeah, about a battalion.
Is it the same as an Army battalion?
A little lighter
A little lighter.
So about how many people? 1,000?
on a good day.
So about 1,000 Marines
Yeah.
per carrier group.
But you figure maybe
Typical.
a third of that is infantry.
According to Wiki,
Okay.
a typical MU has approximately 2,200 members,
Okay.
including Navy sailors equipped with
Oh, the Naval Air Wing and all that.
the Naval Air Wing. In this case, from the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit.
Well, because you also got to account for like the red tab Marines,
Yeah,
the landing
support-
crews.
support Marines.
Well, no, they're specifically landing crew.
Landing crew.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just.
They're shipped ashore. That's all their job is.
Oh, really?
Is
Okay.
to get Marines and equipment off the beach.
And what you're specifically talking about is the guys with the red tabs.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
for
which
our
we're-
listeners and stuff. Yeah.
Which we'd commonly joke about with the ones that got AIDS.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember.
Because you didn't see a whole lot of them stateside. You didn't see them in the units because you only wore the tabs when you're in the unit.
Oh, okay. When you're at sea or when you're just in the unit?
When you're assigned to the
So
unit.
we had one at airborne school for some damn reason,
Really?
and he had the little red tabs by
Yep.
his, on his knees,
Uh-huh.
on the outside of his knees, and on his hat. And
Yep, it was cargo pockets,
cargo pockets,
shoulder pockets, your hat.
Well, this is before the pockets, so it was BDU days.
Oh, okay.
So, so he had them on his knees and freaking on his hat, and I think it was like the cuffs. I don't remember, but so he's out there, and we were all sitting there looking at this guy. We're brand new airborne kids,
Right.
just looking at this dude. Like, what the fuck does he do? And there was a Navy SEAL going through airborne school too. He's like, oh, that's a professional ground guider.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's accurate.
I was like, we're like, what? Oh, it's like, oh yeah, his job is to ground guide boats into the sand. And I'm like, no way. I said, that's what he does. He's like, yeah, I don't even know what he's in airborne school for. They'll never jump him anywhere.
Reenlistment.
Yeah, right.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh, okay.
they would do that every once in a while.
Maybe I'll tell the story on here sometime about a reenlistment guy.
Poor dude.
Idiot. But
Yeah, but I mean, so we're gearing up for.
oh wait. What could they?
What do we got?
Another thing. So that was the CFE treaty in Europe, and both the biggest powers over there have pulled out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is the United States Armed Forces has dropped its recruiting efforts for DEI recruitment, and that would be diversity, equity, and inclusion. So actively trying to recruit
All weirdos.
homosexuals, transsexuals, pretty much any weirdo
Mm-hmm.
that is doing the social justice thing nowadays. Believe me, these are my pronouns. Yeah, go fuck yourself. So the DEI efforts have been dropped from recruitment efforts. Now they are actively trying to recruit the normal military demographic, which is 18 to 25-year-old males.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's why I have a SIGINT guy here, but I'm not done. So I'm not done with that. Yeah, actually, I am done with this. That was the last point I was trying to make. I just wanted to be dramatic.
Fucking-
Oh, yeah.
we have carrier groups in the Mediterranean. We have Israel and Hamas actively at war now. We have the Houthi rebels, which are in Yemen, launching missiles at Israel. The Houthis have shot down a U.S. drone over the Mediterranean.
A Reaper.
A Reaper drone? That's what it was? I just knew it was
Well,
a
they're
drone.
slow, so.
But we have also shot down Houthi missiles that were en route to Israel, and the Israelis in their new Arrow system has shot down a Houthi missile in space, because these things are like going into orbit and coming down. So we have that going on. We still have the Ukraine war with Russia, and it looks like the Ukrainians are losing or going to capitulate probably sometime next year.
Yeah, they were told by Daddy Biden over there to sue for
Right.
peace because...
There are other things too. You're right, sue for peace. Last week we talked about, what's his name out of California going to Beijing?
Oh, yeah, Newsom.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
Oh.
Gavin, shush, I'm not done. I've still got a whole list. So Gavin Newsom went to Beijing to shake hands with Xi Jinping. For whatever reason, a state governor is going to meet the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party.
How many
Anyhow.
ports are in California?
Talk, what?
How many ports are in California?
I don't know, one, but at least one.
Well, they're all, the
I know I'm right, at least one.
People's Republic of California.
Right.
There's
Well, yeah, but
a reason for that.
Here's the other thing on top of that. Just announced either yesterday or today, Xi Jinping is now going to come to the States and meet with Joe Biden, more than likely in California. Because now California, I think San Diego, because San Diego it's one of the cities, I could be wrong on the San Diego, it could be San Diego, Sacramento, LA, it could be one of the big cities in California. I don't know exactly which one. I think San Diego. Because one of these cities has just started to do their tent clean out program. Like they're starting to clean the homeless out of the city to prepare it for the Chinese president.
For the delegation.
To the delegation to come in. They don't want to be embarrassed.
All right, so they're
that had to be
definitely
San Francisco.
So they're definitely not going to San
It
Francisco.
very well could be.
So
I don't know.
No, so they're probably going to the capital. So
Yeah, Sacramento.
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 So- Right. But that's what's going on. That was just announced either today or yesterday. I remember reading it, and I just haven't looked at that. But yeah, one of these cities has started doing their homeless clean out thing because they don't want to be embarrassed when the president of China comes to visit.
He's not. I mean, it's pointless. The Chinese already know.
Yeah.
They already know.
It's an appearance thing.
They've helped create that crisis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they profit off of
They
it.
profited.
Well,
off
yeah,
it.
they sell a lot of the drugs to the Mexicans, or the cartel.
Well,
they-
that too, but a lot of the single-use items that are shipped.
Right.
Well, it's what I was telling you before. There's a marked difference, and you guys that are consumers out there can definitely attest to this. So when, just for timeline's sake, not for president's sake, but while Trump was in office, you can only get Chinese nonsense from Wish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only place you can get them because the part of the reason for that is the tariffs were freaking through the roof, and you couldn't really buy cheap knockoff stuff through anywhere else. You know, you didn't find them at Walmart.com, you didn't find them at Amazon.com, you didn't find them anywhere. Now you damn near need an extension onto your browser to determine whether that object that you're looking at that you want to purchase is not Chinese,
Right.
because the knockoffs are just as bad on Amazon.com as any other website.
I remember for us specifically when we were
When
looking for equipment
cameras,
for the show.
we were looking for cameras for the show.
No end of Chinese
the-
bullshit.
Yeah, the Toshiba 4K
Right.
cameras and
Oh man.
and the
It's
black
like
lungs,
a $100 like 4K like
4K video camera,
1080 whatever
1080p.
highest resolution OLED screen. It's garbage. It's absolute shit.
Yeah, I mean maybe it's awesome. maybe the quality of our show visually would be a lot better if we'd have bought that junk. But we're American, and we'd rather this image look grainy than look sharp and be Chinese.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. There's just so many unknowns.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's better to try to put money towards companies that are more established.
Well, the reviews were all fake.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so-
yeah.
so
it was
if
review
I-
flooded.
So that like I was looking at specifically those Tobiba cameras or whatever the hell I think it was Tobiba or Blang Blang or whatever the hell, whatever knockoff it was. But if the reviews would have been like honest, then I would have been like, well, shoot. I mean, it's probably just reverse engineer stuff. So let me just go ahead and get on it.
Yeah.
And I would have bought it. But the reviews, that's not how American people talk. So it's just, and it was just one after the other, and I'm like, oh man, these are professional review writers that are out there just fluffing up this product to get the
Product been on the market
Yeah,
for like 2 days and had like 1,000.
Oh, yeah, there's no way.
yeah, just to bring it up on your search engine a lot quicker, so it'll be right up on top. So it's I mean that's what it is. So
When you see those like videos of like somebody with a huge frame with like 100 phones in it, all
yeah, oh dude, I'm telling you, so
that's
so
amazing.
I mean, so the Chinese, they, I guess they're now cracking down in China over there with the precursors, selling precursors for fentanyl and all this other stuff because it's being produced in Mexico and all that, and it's killing people left and right, man. It's
Well, yeah, because everyone thinks they're a chemistry teacher and they're not.
Yeah, met quite a few.
Yeah, we all have.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I hope he enjoys himself.
But yeah, so we had the California thing with the California governor going to meet Xi Jinping, and now California's cleaning up at least part of their state for the visitation. So more than likely, Biden's going to go to California to meet with Xi.
Just to say, oh, it's not that bad.
Who knows? What they're trying to do is like prevent the downward spiral of U.S.-Chinese relations. That's at least on the face. That's what they've released to the public. That's the main headline.
That ship has sailed.
I agree.
That ship has sailed. So we've been making enemies out of people for a long time already. I mean, the fact that there's something that the American public doesn't understand, that the rest of the world understands, is that you can't make deals with the Americans.
No, we'll go back on.
Yeah.
America goes back on most of those
Because
deals.
you can't make a deal or a treaty with the American that'll last more than 4 years. Because as soon as the next guy gets in charge, he'll tear everything down, and that sweet cush deal you had goes down the drain.
Yep.
You can't make like country altering deals with the United States. It's just not. But we have so much. Like our hammer is just so much bigger than anybody else's that
Yeah.
like say you make a deal with, and you're a small country, the going will be good for these 4 years.
Right.
Let's go ahead and hop on it. And that as soon as the next dumbass comes into office, they're gonna tear it all apart. And
Yeah, there are plenty of foreign presidents and state leaders who said that like almost the exact same thing. It's like you can't really do much with America because you have no idea who's going to step into that office next.
Right.
yeah, it changes. There's nothing everlasting. I think there's a lot of I don't know. Now this is me speaking out of ignorance. I don't know what steps, if any, exist in order for some of those treaties and agreements to get torn down. I don't know if they have to go through the House or Congress.
Yeah,
or what.
so typically
I don't know.
there are
But-
presidential agreements that can be made from president to president, and those are tentative. So, but the other thing to actually make them lasting is an actual in-document ratified treaty by both parties, and that has to be ratified by by the Congress. So it has to be ratified through the House of Representatives and then the Senate, and the president will sign off on it just like a law.
Well, yeah.
So the treaty has to be obeyed. That's why a lot of people were afraid of like UN treaties about weapons owner, private citizen weapons ownership in the
Remember
United
about
States.
that, yeah.
Right. That's why a lot of people were up in arms about that. Is because the United States has to respect its treaties just the same as it does its own laws. So the same kind of like thing, and actually to pass a treaty through would require less than making an amendment to the Constitution. So making an amendment to the Constitution, not only do you have to pass it through the House and the Senate and the President, but like it has to get a majority vote among the states. So it goes well beyond just the federal government. Even the states' governments have to agree to that ratification.
Right.
But when you have a treaty, it just stays with Congress. So, but the United States does honor its treaties the same as it does its own laws.
How many treaties is the U.S. actively
Oh, you don't want to
involved
look that up, bro. You're going to get a couple thousand pages. I'm telling you, because our treaties go back to 1778. Well, I think our first treaty was with France.
Yeah, so
And we reneged on that one too. We did, because the argument was we made the treaty with the King of France, not the people of France. So the King of France was killed by the people, so we had no obligation to pay France back for its help with the Revolutionary War. Yeah, we also went back on a treaty with Russia to split Japan after World War II, just like we did Germany and Berlin. Mm-hmm. We had the same agreement with Japan, with Russia, and we reneged on that. We took all of Japan. So, yeah. So, I mean, the United States reneges on its treaties almost all the time.
Yeah,
and it really is because of the changing of the guard with the presidency.
Changing of the guard, man. There's no consistency,
right?
And the world knows it. So it's one of those things. Like don't be surprised, when the world's trying to move away from, a well-established hegemony, and it's like, well, we can't count on these dudes. Right. I mean, the nation has made itself unreliable to the rest of the world when it comes to a lot of things. So, I mean,
But it goes back to what you said too. We have the biggest stick on the planet. Yeah, not only that, we make most of the sticks.
I mean, yeah. Another thing out there is that we continuously keep villainizing old enemies and old countries that we've had beef with long ago, and instead of trying to find a way to better collaborate with them, it's just kind of
well, the war machine makes money.
Yeah. I mean,
always.
It's
always.
Projecting warfare is our biggest export. So it's
we export war machines. We export warriors. We export everything that goes with war.
It was a while there where we were Saudi Arabia's army for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most of the conflicts that the U.S. has been involved in, really and truly, weren't our wars.
Yeah, most. Yeah, absolutely, most conflicts.
Yeah.
Bosnia,
obviously, we
were involved in Bosnia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bosnia had nothing to do with us. We were a UN asset at the time, weren't we?
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
Yeah, but white people were dying, so we had to go save them.
Right.
And
be thankful you did. Be thankful that they gave you that opportunity.
We had to. Yeah, because white is right, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the Democrats. It's bananas. Oh, it's a genocide.
Right.
Genocide of who? Yeah.
Genocide of who? Well, these Eastern Bloc Europeans. Oh, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Gotta go save them. It's
fuck Rwanda.
I mean, yeah, Rwanda can eat a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's.
Botswana.
Freaking whatever. The freaking
Burma.
Freaking Congo. Freaking. I mean, you name it. I mean, Central Africa is a freaking disaster. That place has been on fire for like 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we never. So it's always painted as a humanitarian thing, and I covered it on a previous episode. We had a total of something close to 50 some genocides, like within 20 year span, 20-30 year span, and out of all those crazy genocides, the only ones that were really involved in were all the war white people were dying. Just a curiosity. I just thought it was funny, and I was like, well.
Right.
What have we found here?
Yeah.
And it was something like, I'm paraphrasing, of course. I'm not giving exact stats right now. But it was funny, in a tragic way. But I mean, it's how it always is, man. And we got these agreements with Israel, and everybody keeps talking about Israel. Well, if you're one of those guys that are out there and you're supporting Palestine and this is staying free Palestine and all this other stuff, I say, from the bottom of my heart, and you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You have to. So after you go fuck yourself, then you can go read the Hamas charter.
Yeah. Or just go over there.
Yeah.
Well,
just go.
Just go over there and fight. Go over there and fight. Yeah, but the thing is that. Stop virtual signaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick up a rifle.
Yeah.
And go fight.
Yeah, if you're really convicted of your beliefs.
If you feel so strong about it,
yeah.
Pick up a rifle and go fight. Stop protesting in our damn capital. Arguing ain't got nothing to do with that. Leave that. Leave that damn building alone. Don't go over there and start freaking putting a shamag on freaking goddamn Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like the Israelis have said it. The Israeli administrators, the Israeli politicians, the Israeli scholars, pretty much any scholars around here have said it over and over again. If Hamas were to be ousted today and the Palestinian people wanted to make peace with Israel, it would happen overnight. It would happen overnight. What's known as Gaza and the West Bank today would be known as Israel, Greater Israel, and the Palestinians would probably be given representation in the Israeli government.
Well, I mean,
if the Palestinians were willing to get rid of Hamas, but they have shown no desire to.
They elected them.
They elected them into office.
So
they are their elected leaders.
So that's the thing. Elections have consequences, and we always go back to that. You know, there's a lot of people that don't vote, that don't do this, that don't do that. Well, don't be surprised if the people that are elected drag you into some nonsense.
Right.
That's why elections exist. These people voted. Some of them, I'm sure, didn't.
Yeah.
They stayed home because they were like, screw that, man. I'll just take my day off and just kind of lounge and eat some kebabs and just freaking smoke this hookah and just relax, you know? Play with my kids, you know, whatever, the usual.
Get some
hummus. Yeah, just kind of putt around, freaking, and do things. And but now the bombs are falling from the sky. You're like, oh no, they're killing all the children. Well, you're being led by an internationally recognized terrorist organization that's been dragging you into conflict since the beginning. And the 1948 borders. Oh, well, the 1927 borders. Oh, well, it's wrong to paraglide into a concert and start killing people.
Yeah.
It's wrong to start launching rockets. Don't be surprised when the reaction is devastating and ultimate.
Yeah, swift and mighty.
Swift and ultimate.
And the thing is, with everything I've seen so far in this conflict, Israel is still being very, very, very restraining of themselves.
Well, there was
what they're capable of and what they're doing are two vastly different things.
So there was a I don't even know what they're called now because it's not Twitter, it's X. So it's not an Xing. So it's
the tweets.
It's a post on X. Now I gotta add extra words because fucking Elon wanted to be unique. So fucking there was one over there that was showing like these Palestinians that were tagged. They had these wristbands and whatever. They were like these blue tags. They were kind of like luggage tags, like made out of rubber with serial numbers.
Okay.
And
like a medical tag, or?
Something similar, but it had they weren't. I don't want to call them cattle tags because that's not the right terminology.
Right.
But that's how they were being compared to on the post.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, look, this has been done before," and people showing tattoos from Auschwitz and stuff like that. I was like, "Look, the reality is that those people were tagged because they've been cleared by biometrics to come in and out with construction and aid equipment. So they have been, their background checks have been checked, and they are clear. So they don't get freaking killed.
Yeah,
have a less of a chance of getting killed.
Not only that, you can take the tag off.
Right.
You can take the tag off, and you can see it in the picture that it's a square tag going through a circular thing. So you know you got to fold it and run it through the hole and let it go, and it's a tag, and you can just pull it off. It's made of rubber.
Right.
It's not the same, but everybody's dying on these narratives that you can't possibly confirm. They'll show a refugee camp, alleged refugee camp, people strung all over the floor, dirt and soot and blood and guts and all this other stuff everywhere, and oh look what he did, and there's this one guy, clean cut, clean shirt, not helping nobody, but filming everything. And ain't nothing happened to this dude. This dude ain't got not one speck of dust on him. It's just like, oh, look what he did. What? Okay, so two things. Why the fuck are you alive?
Yeah.
That's the first things first.
Because he wasn't nowhere near it.
You were fucking nowhere near there. Secondly, what fucking year was that filmed?
Right.
Where was this filmed?
That keeps coming out so often.
So the thing is that the liberal mind is easily fooled with this stuff.
You see what you want to see.
Oh, they see as soon as their confirmation bias is confirmed, they latch onto that, bro, like a monkey, bro. It's just like, here we go. They're killing kids.
Yeah.
They're their kids.
It turns out it was filmed in Syria in 2016.
Yeah, you don't even know if those. But not only that, their racism They're racism because they don't know the difference between those brown kids and the other brown kids. That could be a pile of Puerto Ricans laying down on the floor. You have no idea what you're looking at. They're just brown people.
Yeah.
But to you, because somebody told you that they're Palestinians, they're Palestinians. They have to be. I said, you racist freaking bastard. Do your research. Yeah. They'll send a rocket. Oh, look, this is Hamas. This is Israeli IDF launching a rocket. And the rocket's doing freaking loop-de-loops and a twirly-twirl in the sky. That's you don't even know when that was filmed.
Did you see that the Israelis, when they send over rockets, they have ones that are basically flashbangs?
So
they're roof knockers.
The roof knockers, for a long time, they were sending roof knockers. You know what a roof knocker is?
No.
So they would identify this house as a possible safe haven for terrorists.
Okay.
So they will launch a dumb munition, basically. And I mean dumb, by dumb, I don't mean its guidance system, because it's very well guided.
Okay.
But no
warhead.
payload.
No warhead.
So no warhead. But it would flash, but it would just hit that cement roof, boom, boom, and it would knock on the roof, basically telling people, if you're innocent, get the hell out of here.
Oh, okay.
Huge. It was like a huge, like...
So it's like a preemptive thing? Like
it's kind of like a large flashbang.
Yes.
Like
so that thing hits, the next thing that's coming is an actual warhead.
It's hey, we know where you're at.
A freaking artillery warning shot?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
Yes.
I had no idea anything.
Yeah, roof knockers,
yes. They would also call them on the phone.
Yeah.
They call them on the phone.
Be like, hey.
Let them know. It's like, hey, man, is this where blah, blah, blah lives? Yeah. But y'all got like 20 seconds to get the hell out of there. We're about to flatten this place. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that, so they've gone above and beyond the law of armed conflict.
Oh, yeah.
It's but a lot of the things is that people are not really getting the true visibility of what's going on the ground in there, because the media blackout is what it is.
But I mean, that's typical, isn't it?
And that's typical for combat.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like how are these guys getting that much processed, high def, quality footage from in essence from ground zero?
Yeah, from the front lines.
They didn't
the
put
front
it on a
lines.
pigeon and send it out? Because, I mean, you don't have any connectivity there.
They don't have Starlink.
They don't have Starlink. Elon wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
He was going to set up Starlink, and they denied it.
Yeah.
They pushed it away. The only really good method of communication these people got down there that's any kind of reliable, because they don't have cellular service. They shouldn't have. It's probably all analog. So where the hell so they're taking these videos, smuggling them out somehow, and then or filming them somewhere else, which they've been caught doing that before.
Oh, yeah.
In the last conflict, they were caught staging.
Yeah.
But that's our generation that saw that.
Right.
The generation that's now consuming all this information is the new and improved freaking soy boys and soy girls that are,
And that's the thing that confuses me a lot. Like, because, I mean, this new generation is supposed to be, well, it was at one point, like, mistrusting of everything. Mistrusting of the government, mistrusting of the media, doesn't trust a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's almost flipped on itself, where they trust anything they see. Anything. As long as it comes from the government or a media source.
Dude, this is
what?
This is the government that flipped Rage Against the Machine.
You're right, exactly.
They flipped Rage Against the Machine. They turned into vaxxers, bro.
Yeah.
And pushing the freaking Fauci agenda. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And for YouTube purposes, I'm not giving medical advice or anything like that. I'm not a doctor, so don't cancel me, for the love of Christ. Stop being so fucking sensitive.
Yeah. We'll put another strike on one of our videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna strike on our
Right.
video because I said something about the freaking Charles freaking Oscar Victor India Delta thing. Fucking pack of maggots.
Yeah.
Foxtrot maggots.
Yeah.
So
This is confusing to me.
very.
But what I was getting to with, though we have Nick here, with the CFE treaty being backed up by NATO and Russia, the U.S. dropping its DEI requirements for recruiting, and now recruiting the normal demographic of 18 to 25-year-old males. You have the Israel-Hamas conflict. You also have what's going on in Iraq and Iran right now, with Iranian-backed militant groups attacking U.S. forces in Iraq.
Oh, yeah.
By drone. There have been, like, I think over 20 now injured, or 20 or 40 injured, something like that, American personnel.
Couple dozen.
Yeah. There have been several Americans injured by these attacks. You have that going on. You have the Houthi rebels in Yemen attacking Israel as well. You have a group in Lebanon. Who's that? Hezbollah? Is it Hezbollah in Lebanon?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hezbollah
Yep.
is in they're in the West Bank and North.
Yeah, I can't keep track of all the terrorist groups. But yeah, you got Hezbollah attacking as well out of Lebanon. You have all this stuff going on, and it's not focused on the Middle East. It's not just Israel and Hamas. It's the entire Middle East, plus Europe, plus Russia,
Oh yeah.
plus the United States doing weird stuff, and
Look at our southern border.
our southern border. Well, I was going to get to that afterwards because it's not really an indicator right now. At least I don't think so. But there was
That's a huge indicator.
there was a
You have
report-
no idea the SIGINT presence on the border.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure it's classified.
It-
But the story that I had from the southern border was there was a report that came out, I think, earlier this year, that last year there was a Hamas camp in Mexico just south of the border that was shut down. So supposedly this Hamas camp is already shut down, but
Well, yeah, they came
Trying to-
over already.
trying to find it online. There are other news organizations that say that this claim is false. The FBI has already looked into this, and the lady that presented this headline to the news, the FBI wasn't questioning whether it was correct or not. They were just wanting to know what her source was. That's kind of weird. So I mean, we got all these things going on for everything we've mentioned, everything we've gone over from a SIGINT perspective. What conclusions could you draw? And what would be your indicators? What was your tasking when you
Oh,
see it?
indications and warnings.
Yeah. What would you tell a line group if you had these as indicators and warnings?
Shit.
But prepare for chaos.
That's why you're here on the show.
Yeah.
That's why you got invited. It's not just the candy.
Oh man.
What a
I mean,
dick.
there's so many different facets to it. Especially, you talk about the drone strikes and the issues with drones.
The Iranian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, anywhere.
Right.
What a pain in the ass that is to defend against
Yeah.
from a SIGINT side. Because they work on a plethora of frequencies. They're low power, and they get into the fact where you can make them switch frequencies, so you can basically make them free cop,
Okay.
which is extremely hard to track. It's one of the simplest encryptions, but it's very hard to break
Right.
because you need time. That's what it is. The drones, especially the small ones, definitely are going to be the biggest issue overall with security issues for anywhere. The next one is your troops or the people that work for you, their devices. We're so ingrained on having smartphones, smartwatches, all that can be accessed.
Right.
Whether or not...
We've all been out of the military for quite some time.
Mhm.
But I've been out of the military over a decade. How long have you been out?
Well, I mean, military per se, but last time I was operational was 2016.
Okay. How long have you been
So,
away
It's
from
been
the
10
military?
years.
About
yeah, it's,
I say roughly around the same time.
Right.
We've all been out for over a decade. So about how much would we estimate the smart technology has actually integrated into line units and military assets?
Oh,
it's huge.
Huge,
It's
right?
huge.
Yeah.
well, we
It's
see it it's something that people can quantify with is like all these video games, right? Call of Duty and whatnot. You see all these characters, they have this little fancy cell phone looking thing on their chest.
Right.
That was, when I was in, only the top tier dudes even had anything
So
that was
Like
like
future
that.
warfare
So
projects.
Oh, yeah.
So mine was this big.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't have one.
It was.
I didn't have one.
It was like a
Yeah.
sustainment pouch, dude. It
But
was
now-
like, it was like this. So all the high technology stuff that I carried was back when it was the size of VCRs.
Well, yeah.
So, and that thing required so many antennas and so many batteries,
Mhm.
and it just just to receive.
I still remember when the original Duke system was brand new.
Oh yeah.
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 But I mean, devices
That was-
have gotten so
That was
small.
top technology
Yeah.
when I was there.
I mean, devices have gotten so small and so powerful
Yeah.
that, of course, it's a no-brainer to integrate them into everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But there's no redundancy sometimes when it comes to that.
And the thing is, here's another question. I don't expect any of us to be able to answer it. It would surprise me if either one of you two could. I would like an answer for it. But who codes that stuff?
Everyone.
That's the thing. I'd imagine either Russians or Chinese.
Well, no.
For the coding of the smart technology and stuff? Okay, cool.
Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of that stuff is microchips run the world,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
right? So we'll come up with the technology of what we need and what goes into the microchip.
Right.
We send all that information and all that stuff to Taiwan, where Taiwan produces it and brings it back. Now, there's some strict guidelines on who gets what. So if we don't have a trade agreement with any other country, technically China or none of these other actors will have it. Problem is that a lot of this, with this new administration, there's been a lot of crossover of technology to the point where there's a lot of Chinese Chinese coded microchips in a lot of our power grid and a lot of different aspects of our day-to-day lives. And that cross section of technology there is where we can get fucked up at,
Right.
basically. Not so much on what we develop, but on what the Chinese develop that we are using.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword with that too, because not only is the security issue there for Chinese microchips and the power grid and other utilities, is that they're just not made as well.
Right.
So they're not reliable. So you've got substations that go down for no reason other than a computer failure, which more than likely wouldn't have happened with a higher quality piece.
Yeah, it's like who codes this stuff? We do.
Yeah.
That's who codes it. Now, the screen, China.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So you may have like the meat, the guts of this stuff is us, but we need it to fire up, and that part is from China. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
if they install
Some
some
of the
kind
hardware type. Yeah.
so if they install some kind of backdoor,
Right.
or or they have some kind of proprietary kill on it, like basically it'll run for extended amount of time and then it just dies on you because they want to create the need.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you're up shit creek again. So that's. I mean, there was a lot of moves being done by the previous administration that curbed that. But we know Joe Biden's in China's pocket.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
no.
It's been proven at this point.
I mean, it's been proven beyond reasonable doubt by now. I mean, hell, if I was as incompetent or as corrupt in my job as that man is,
You'd be in jail by now.
I'd be in jail by now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, he's
You
been
guys saw that clip of him saying that's above my pay grade, right?
Oh yeah, above my pay. The president, the leader of the free world, above your pay grade.
It's above my pay.
Above your pay grade, dude. You're in charge of the planet. What are you talking about?
You want to?
What do you mean above pay grade?
Put that on like Family Feud. What's the absolute worst thing a president could say?
That.
Yeah,
It's above my pay grade. Yeah,
it's above my pay grade. Yeah,
Ain't nothing above your pay grade.
yeah, nothing above your pay grade. Yeah, but it is because
Yeah, because
he's compromised.
That's the thing.
So-
Like it might be his mouth moving, but it's not his words.
No, of course not.
None of that. He is just an old sock puppet. That
Yeah, the only truth you get out of him is what flavor ice cream he likes.
Yeah,
I doubt that.
I mean, this is a man that doesn't
I
know.
think
This is
it
a
depends
man.
on where he is.
This is a man.
That's true.
This is
I mean,
a
in the
man
moment, that's what he likes.
that just in his simplest form, this is a man that doesn't know to put his feet down when the bicycle stops.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? You gotta put your feet down.
I feel so bad for those Secret Service guys. They have
I
to
don't think what they're
babysit.
getting into.
I mean, you gotta put your feet down. Your bicycle stop. Forward momentum, so it keeps you upright, stupid. But you either pedal or you put your feet down.
Just fell over.
I choose fall over.
Right.
You know, like I just see his brain with like A, B, and C. Like 1, pedal forward. 2, put your feet down. C, fall over. Oh yeah, C.
It's like he didn't make it to the respawn point. He just stopped just before.
Yeah, I mean,
He didn't lead into the cutscene.
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
What we do have to look forward to, though, is the Secret Service. Because every time the president gets out, there's a Secret Service person that retires and writes a book.
I don't think that's gonna happen this time around, bro. The Obamas are still killing their chefs, bro. So
That's
it's,
true.
So
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, I don't think anybody's leaving this administration that's gonna write a book in no time soon.
Mm-mm.
That's what he gets for like taking a peek on Michelle while she's standing up there taking a piss.
Yeah, he probably saw something he wasn't supposed to see. Yeah.
What's wrong?
Kill me, man.
I mean, bro,
Yeah.
I mean that's been a.
Yeah, man. Hell, wasn't that lady that said it dead already?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
Joan Rivers?
yeah. Joan Rivers. That's
She died
who said
like,
it.
like a week after she said
Yeah.
it.
Like they started talking about will we ever have a gay president? She said we already have one. It's Obama. Michelle's a tranny. She said it like right in front of a camera, just like nonchalantly. Like,
Yeah.
I thought everybody knew this. Dead a week later.
No.
Damn.
Well, what else we got? We gonna take a break? All right, so we're back from our little break. Yeah, we just sitting there talking about all kinds of little things, man. But basically,
Yeah, all the what you were saying, like all the indicators.
Oh yeah. Well, to expand on some of that stuff is the Marine Corps just reorganized.
Please explain.
So they have. I mean, obviously we know they got rid of their tanks.
Right. That was a couple of years ago, right?
2 years ago they
Yeah.
got rid of their tanks, which made a lot of people sad because
Right.
who wouldn't want a tank with them?
Of course, it's a huge asset.
But to make them more expeditionary, which is the whole premise of the Marine Corps, they got rid of the weight.
Right.
And now they've restructured their fire teams.
Fire
So,
teams.
yes. So even on the lowest level infantry, where you have a fire team squad.
Right.
So before it was, I believe, we always used to run 4 because that's all we had. But I think the fire team was 5. They've changed it now to 6 on their reorganization. And they've cut down on the amount of fire teams they have in a platoon, and then, that goes bigger. Because there's more specialized equipment going with these Marines. On top of that, before you'd have like the MAGTAF, the Marine Air Task Group, and the Muse, how they're structured, you had a whole lot of support elements, and then you had a whole bunch of infantry.
Right.
They've cut back on the number of infantry and rolled them into what we would have considered as support units.
Okay.
Your intel, your logistics, stuff like that. They have focused heavily on intel gathering as well as drone operations and forward control elements, essentially.
Okay.
So it's kind of what the Marine Corps was doing already, but the command structure has changed to make it more fluid. Because before you'd have to be specially tasked. Like when I was pulled from my battalion to go.
So if I'm understanding correct, so instead of having like individual, like say Marine companies tasked for a specific objective, now you're making most of the Marine Corps capable of most objectives.
Yes.
Okay. Just make sure I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah. So they're making it to where the Marine Corps can operate independently,
No matter how.
no matter what part of the Marine Corps that you have.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, your Muse and then your MAGTAFs are going to be better suited for a more conventional
Right.
warfare, but they're making it to where across the board, everyone's capable of.
Right.
So it was interesting. The Marine Corps just put out a couple weeks ago that they've done this restructure, and they're continuing to update equipment. It seems gone are the days of the Marine Corps getting secondhand stuff from the Army.
Right.
A lot of the Marines that are on the Muse and stuff get a lot of the high-speed gear and a lot of training. They're outfitting infantry battalions with suppressors. Like, that's just normal now, which was not normal,
No.
like, at all. So that's a big indication that they're trying to make every part of the Marine Corps more effective. So I know it was hard for the Marine Corps to get away from an occupying role, because that's what we fell into in Iraq and Afghanistan. We basically had the same role as the Army, as Big Army. And I think there's some conflict there of like, Ramadi having to be taken back twice. Some other stuff. Fallujah.
Back twice, yeah.
Yeah. We got comfortable in it because it worked. We got good at being an occupying force, but the Marine Corps was never designed to be an occupying force.
So
We're not big
enough.
enough.
Get back to the roots of being an expeditionary force.
Yeah, the Marine Corps is the fuck around and find out force.
Yeah. Go in first, establish what you need to establish, and let the Army take over.
Well,
Battle space.
the Marine Corps is supposed to come from ships.
Right.
Whereas, if you want to drop in, we've got airborne guys for that.
Yeah.
So, kind of the same objective is to go in and take key objectives, obviously, in different ways. Airborne's obviously going to drop in. And airfields, right? Those usually your biggest priority.
So the priority, at least for as the ASOP goes, the Airborne Standard Operating Procedure, varies a little bit from the RSOP, the Ranger Operating Procedure, Standard Operating Procedure, but basically to take over enemy airfield and expand the airhead for follow-on forces. So you'll take the airfield, clear it, secure it, perimeter up, hard point, and then make sure that that follow-on aircraft can come in to actually occupy it. So we set the foothold for enemy airfields.
Yeah.
That's the mainstay. A lot of other SOPs that fall into that are stateside response and emergency stuff. So they do a lot of humanitarian stuff, but those stability and security operations are otherwise known as SASO ops. SASO operations is not something that's authentic to the Airborne or to the Marine Corps. It's just not things that we used to do. Those stability and security operations was some more reserved for big military units that had logistics and budgeting for a long, prolonged campaign.
Yep.
And we come in, secure it, let the foothold, set the foothold, and then go back, refit, reorganize, and get ready for the next one.
Yep.
So we're a leapfrogging force. There used to be the standard, the known thing that paratroopers and a lot of Marine Corps units were like this too, can only self-sustain for approximately 72 to 80 something hours with the equipment that they're carrying.
Yeah, this is what you carry in.
This is what you're carrying. You're about as light as you can get when it comes to the infantry task force. So the initial waves wouldn't carry a lot of strap hangers. It'd be just shooters for the most part, and their combat equipment and combat load. It's changed a lot. There's a lot of equipment now being put into battle space. There's a lot of reorganizing, a lot of different task organizations when it comes to dropping into an enemy airfield or an enemy field that are different now. They're starting to look at the viability of the M1 Abrams now and all kinds of different units that didn't have them, and now also looking at the viability of whether this tank can operate in the Pacific. The nature of warfare, because it's been painted with this World War filter, and it's starting to look like if it goes down, there for sure we're probably going to end up fighting in just about every corner of the planet, because nobody's putting a stop to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So nobody's being the big boy,
Yeah.
saying enough is enough, and let's collaborate, make some money. Nobody's saying that. So as long as we keep hurtling into this crazy world of chaos, the Marine Corps and a lot of in some small parts of the United States Army have not focused so much on what's going on in the exterior, but let's make sure we're lethal.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, it'll probably fall back to just the Marine Corps to bring us back to neutral, or where do we need to be when it comes to the purpose of an army, of a military. That's been kind of blurred a little bit even in the Marine Corps, but it hasn't completely disappeared as much as the Army. I mean, General Milley damn near destroyed the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's out now.
That guy, that guy, in his seek for white rage,
Yeah.
and between Sarah's two moms and all these things that, look, if you got kids that are LGBT, if you got friends that are LGBT, that's fine. We love them, we respect them. I got friends that are LGBT. I love them, respect them. Point is that the military's job has nothing to do with what you do in your bedroom.
No, it never has.
It never has. The nature of the United States military is to seek, destroy, and eradicate America's enemies wherever they are. And for the 80 seconds, anywhere in the world in 18 hours or less.
Which I don't think people understand just how big of a task that is and how impressive it is.
Well, most people are never going to understand that.
So most people will never understand the nature of it.
Yeah, it's a huge logistics challenge.
Yeah.
So how streamlined that deployment, that we can have parachutes over your capital 18 hours or less, no matter where you're at in the planet. So
Yeah,
there's
fuck around
no
at
hiding.
dinner and next thing you know, at breakfast you got paratroopers coming in.
There's no hiding from how. There is nowhere you can hide from how we could project force across the globe.
No.
But that's the purpose of our military, to stay on that task.
And that's the thing
The
that's
fact
about
that
those carrier groups.
the recruiting standards
Yeah.
that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that they're doing is they're expanding the recruitment of recruiters.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So-
they stopped or I don't know what the term is, but they stopped.
Stop movement.
Well, they stopped a bunch of people that are going to their B billets for
Mm-hmm.
drill instructor school or other stuff, and they were like, "No, you're going to be a recruiter now."
That's the thing. Recruiting
So
duty
the-
is a temporary duty assignment.
Correct. Yeah, it's just your DOD assignment. So if
2 years.
if you're in the Army long enough, you're gonna get a DOD assignment. You either get drilled or you get
Recruit.
Oh, you guys call them
recruiter.
DoD assignments?
what?
You guys call them DoD assignments?
Yeah, it's a DOD billet.
We just call them a B billet.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing,
the same
different
thing.
name, yeah.
So
The same thing. But
The Marine Corps has the same requirements. So does the Air Force and the Navy.
yeah, you
Yeah.
recruiter, drill instructor.
Mhm.
What's one other one?
Come
And
on.
what-
Use,
Embassy duty.
use the gray matter. What?
Embassy duty.
Embassy
yeah,
duty.
MSG.
Yeah, MSG. There we go.
So, so it's
Eighth and I counts under that as well
yeah, eighth
too.
and I, yeah. But
What?
The ones that do like the silent drill team and all that
Gotcha.
stuff. That's eighth and I.
Would Tomb Guard count? No, right? No, that's a regular thing.
no, that's an actual
yeah,
unit.
yeah, yeah. I
So-
know it's an actual unit, but
So third infantry's old guard.
yeah.
hmm
It's an actual. That's an actual
Yeah.
unit. That's not a billet. That's
Right,
not
right.
a.
And
you can
has,
PCS to it.
has very specific qualifications.
You can
Well,
PCS
yeah.
to it, but that's a.
Plus their manpower's a drop in the bucket though compared to the big army.
True.
Yeah, but that's not a billet you want to PCS to.
I hear
Old guard is something you want to enlist to get assigned to before you develop any bad habits.
Yeah.
You don't drop a HESCO into
No.
after 4 years of freaking, after 4 years of freaking shamming and freaking and doing stuff to go shine boots and walk in formation for a living. This ain't.
Almost
gonna
like the
work.
eighth and I Marines. If you look at them, you don't see the combat action ribbons. You don't see the sea service deployment ribbons on those
Yeah.
guys. Like you'll see fire watch ribbons, which are not even given out anymore. They stopped that
Really?
2 years ago. So they're they're not, they haven't been around the fleet yet,
Right.
so they're fresh. And all they know is drill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
that's
good
why
at it.
They're good at it. It works
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that's not a build you want to jump into after being in the military for a little bit, because that's a hard adjustment. But I'll tell you that they're also, they got their quotas back up, and they're putting incentives for meeting those quotas. That you could theoretically could be in the Army for a little over 5 years and make E7.
Right.
I saw that.
So
Well, there's
I saw that. That was insane.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean,
Because you're being forced to go recruiting, and then if you get whatever that number of
it's
quote,
like 24, 27, something.
yeah, and then you get an automatic promotion.
You get automatic promotions. It's fucking crazy. And it's just like Angry Cops, I think, covered it.
Mm-hmm.
You get an E7 with an E5 brain.
Mm-hmm.
With a young
And
E5 brain.
And I know, and I know my very good friend, Sergeant Henning over there. You watch the podcast. I know you do. I know that doesn't bode well. It's,
Could you imagine that? I mean, you can enlist at 17
Yeah.
years old. So at 22, you're an E7?
Bro.
22?
yeah, dude, that's very, very possible. Well, the thing is that you don't remain in that B building.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now that
Now you're going to be a platoon sergeant.
Now that
And have no idea
no,
what
no,
you're
no,
doing.
no. Oh, no. That guy's gonna go back to the airborne.
Right.
So,
To go screw up a freaking platoon because he don't know jagged shit, and now he's gotta sit there and freaking and go with all the school knowledge, all the stuff he learned at school, but none of the tricks. You know, but none of the wisdom.
Yeah.
None of the wisdom. All the knowledge, none of the wisdom.
Or the DWIs.
You know, the DWIs and the divorces.
divorces.
You know, none of the wisdom. He's still driving the Charger.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
26%.
It hasn't been repossessed.
No.
He's still driving that by the time he makes fucking E7. That's crazy to me. But
26% interest.
you see, like if you're lucky, he may have just gotten rid of his stripper wife. And
Not at
that's,
22,
you know,
he hasn't.
but not 22, probably not. But,
No,
but yeah, it's
not the first one yet.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, but
God, I
But
can't even
that's-
fathom that. A 22-year-old E7.
that's still better. That's still better than
I think you've seen that since World War II with combat promotions, you know?
right.
You're
but-
filling dead man's boots, but I mean, who else is going to do it? You know?
Oh, right. There's nobody else. You know.
Right.
So, I
And you
mean,
did see regular, like 23, 24, 25-year-old first sergeants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but but that first sergeant in it's just outside of France and fucking 40,
And has been through 4 years
40,
of combat.
45. You know what I mean, or whatever. Like he's
Been in combat
Right.
for 4 straight years.
like if you were a leg, you probably went through the Africa campaign, probably fought your way through Italy. By the time D-Day came around, you've probably been duking it out with the Germans for a hot minute now. And you get that battlefield promotion, that dude's salty as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, so it don't matter. But you're looking at now some E5 that's been peacetime his entire career,
And it's just hard to fathom, you know.
picking up E7. Well, you guys have been experiencing that the entire Marine Corps. Because you guys could get E7s that got nothing to do with your billet.
Well, yeah, but the Marine Corps' mindset's different, though.
Correct. It is different.
I was talking about this with someone else the other day. The thing is, like, I got out as a sergeant, and as a sergeant of Marines, it doesn't matter what your MOS is, you're a sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an expectation to lead those Marines or be responsible for them at the very minimum.
All right.
They don't have to be yours, but they are yours because you're the sergeant, you're the highest ranking, you're the most senior guy. And that's instilled from day one. Even at recruit basic training, out of all the recruits, someone's in charge. Of all the recruits, like, you have to figure out who it is, and someone takes charge and they get fucked up for all it, you know. But they instill that there's always someone to make the decisions.
Right.
not totally unlike the was a little group of paratroopers.
yeah. LGOPs, the rule of the LGOPs.
Yeah.
You know what the LGOPs are?
No, not a
Of course
close.
you don't.
Of course I don't. Suck it, crunchy bitch.
Yeah, whatever. So, little group of paratroopers. Yeah, you're really fucking asbestos gloves. Fuck you.
Mittens.
They
They're
give 'em-
mittens.
They give them baker's mittens.
Yeah.
Fucking Sally's.
They're so much better than Baker's mittens. They're so much better.
Coffee tastes like shit, but
You run a 50 cal at full blast for like 200 rounds. They put on one of those asbestos gloves. You don't feel a damn thing. They're great.
Yeah.
'Cause I've done that.
But,
Exactly that.
so little group of paratroopers, or the rule of the LGOPs,
Mm-hmm.
basically is off the premise that when you jump out of an aircraft, once you land,
Mhm.
depending on the chaos of,
Right.
of the drop zone, you start forming little groups of paratroopers. The highest ranking person in that group, that's whose objective you just
Right. You just picked up. Yeah.
so
That's why you all learn everybody's objectives.
so on an airborne op order, you typically learn all of the objectives from Alpha through Delta. You know, all of them. Fuck you,
Right.
Alpha, Baker, freaking or Bravo, or whoever, depending on where,
Mhm.
no matter where you're at. So you learn them all, and because you can end up hauling ammo for 319th Field Artillery. You can end up freaking trying to fucking set up barricades for damn aviation. You can end up with engineers. You can end up with 327 signal. You can end up with whoever. You know, it's just so you gotta know all these objectives. So you can end up. You started your freaking deployment with your Charlie Company, and now you're a rifleman, 2nd Platoon Alpha.
Yeah.
Because the platoon sergeant fucking just scooped you up and he needed fucking bodies. And at some point, of course,
You
there's
go
a-
back.
Of course, at some point, there's a point of full stop and reorganizing, and then you reconfigure your outfits. But
Unless you're 1-9, but you
yeah,
know.
I mean, yeah, well, what a toilet flush that was. But but for the most part, you learn to collaborate with everybody, and you learn a lot of different jobs and
Right.
cross training a lot of things. But it's not as organic as say deploying together from the same fixed platform. Like
Right.
freaking, you come into theater on a boat, you come with all your mates. You come in through theater on a plane with all you guys. In an airborne chalk, your airborne chalk is designated depending on where on the drop zone your objective is. So.
Yeah.
So if the drop zone is a little square like that or whatever, then objective Alpha is for Alpha Company, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, so on and so forth. So you're going to be somewhere in that plane where that plane is projected to pass over that objective, where theoretically you should be jumping over. So you land about
If all the stars align.
If all the stars align in a perfect world, this is normally where you would be in reference to the ground objective, so you can have the biggest possibility of joining up with the rest of Charlie. So say there's elements of Charlie in every plane, because every time a plane goes through that piece of geography, Charlie guys should be exiting that part in the air. So in your chalk, and it's the tactical crossload element too. So if
Yep.
you lose a bird, you need to lose all your machine gun sections or all of your combo guys. It's a hodgepodge. So every company lost somebody if a plane goes down.
You didn't put both radios on the same
you,
plane.
you don't put it. Yeah, so it's not as organic, which makes paratroopers unique in a sense where you have to be able to trust people that are not in your company. You have to be able to collaborate with them. So like there was a point in time there where I pretty much knew just about everybody in that battalion. You know how good I network anyways.
Right.
That's always been a thing that I've done. So there was a point where I knew just about every single paratrooper in that battalion. If I didn't know their name, I had met them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's 1,000 people, whatever. So
Start recognizing the name tapes. That's
Yeah.
what I go off. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember that name tape.
like it's but in turn, they a lot of them knew me, so it was kind of one of those things, and you end up. It makes it so easier too, like when because you end up on a detail. Let's say you're on a trash picking up detail. You end up with Bravo or Charlie or Delta, whatever. It don't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
We've all been outside the billets drinking beer. We all know each other. We've been on jumps together. We've been in the field together. We've all gone through gunnery together. We know we're not in the same company, so I didn't see you all last week, but I saw you the week before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just
But that mindset is not
yeah.
as widespread. Like,
Oh, dude, another thing, we know who the shipback sergeants are, because word gets around.
oh yeah, of
So,
course.
so you got a sergeant that came over from Alpha, you know. You're like, oh, fuck, that guy? Oh, man, dude, I heard stories, bro. That dude's a douche. And, you know, so there's a lot of interoperability in that.
But like big army, I've seen that it doesn't matter if you're a sergeant first class. You go over to another unit that's not your MOS specialty, you'll have like an E5 sergeant talk back to you, and there's no fucking recourse on that. Which that doesn't exist in the airborne or the Marine Corps.
Well, I mean,
I'm saying like currently,
Oh,
because
I never heard of that when I was in my units.
my brother
comes
was.
in from anywhere.
He was telling me about that stuff.
oh no, not us, man. You gotta be if you're not airborne. Well, listen,
I get that.
it's just you can get you.
And see, that doesn't exist in the Marine Corps.
That was
We
just how it
even
was.
listen to the air wingers.
So we get some leg, whatever. I don't care if you did. If you were in the Battle of the Bulge, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's the only legs that you would listen to. Guys that been through some shit. You know, you run into some freaking leg E7 that's got freaking goddamn combat patch and fucking CIB and so on. I was like, all right. So
Yeah.
well, I'm shut the fuck up and do what the fuck.
Well, and that's another thing that's different between the Marine Corps and the Army is the Marine Corps doesn't wear any of that stuff. Any of their accolades on their utility uniform.
Mhm.
And I think that's by design, because to the big Marine Corps, it doesn't matter. If you're a sergeant, you're a sergeant of Marines, period. If you're a gunnery sergeant, you're a gunnery sergeant. It doesn't matter what your history is. You have that responsibility and the expectation to do that job of leading the Marines below you. So, and they're held accountable by their higher ups. So you
Now,
don't
We want to see because if you've been around a while and you don't have that expert infantryman's badge and you're in charge of freaking, I want to know. I want to know if you can do at least skill level 1 task and your uniform better tell me, because
and I get that. And the Marine Corps has got, I think, 5 devices they can wear,
right.
and I think they're all Army devices, but I mean, or pulled from the Army. Your airborne wings, both flavors. Your aviation wings, scuba bubble. I think both flavors of aviation, silver and gold,
Halo.
and Halo.
So
And I think that's it.
I mean the recon,
No.
the Raiders don't have anything.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I mean,
Now, I know some of the Marines that would go through Ranger School,
right.
they'd sew their tab on the inside of their pocket. It wasn't authorized, but they could flip it up and it'd be in the same location like the Army would have it, but because Marines could go through
They do.
Ranger School.
Yeah.
They do all the time. Yeah, it's yeah, that's crazy.
The other thing for recruitment I'd like to mention, though, is that recently, within the last couple of weeks, the Air Force and the Space Force raised their recruiting age limit to 42.
I still want to Google every time you say Space Force.
Space.
It's true.
So
That's why I'm gonna try to enlist in the Space Force
right.
or commission, whichever.
Yeah, we got enough.
If I commission in the Space Force,
bro, I don't think I'd stop laughing. I think I think the next episode after that would just be an hour straight of just me laughing.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I'm an it. Space Force
Space
officers
Force.
fought in Fallujah back in '04.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
What would they call you? Like,
Surplus to requirements, more than likely. Useless lump.
You should be walking around. Where are my space tanks at?
Yes.
yeah,
Those are getting developed.
yeah. I mean, what do they call their
the first order of
officers?
business.
What do they call?
It's probably the same thing as the Air Force, which is the same thing as the Army.
I don't think so.
I do.
Well, they're called guardians.
They are. Yeah. Any troop in the air.
Anybody
Space Force is a
that
guardian.
tells their freaking that we're gonna call you, dude, their ranks gotta be fucking badass, bro.
Well, I think their rank structure, the names of their ranks are the same as the armies in the air.
I'm looking it up right now.
No
I'm
imagination,
about to.
bro.
Okay, specialists. Oh, come on. So the enlisted ones. E1.
Now they look different.
Oh, they're like Star Trek all the way.
Which one are you looking at? Because some of them were like, no, that cannot be.
This is.
Dude, they named them guardians.
I know they named them Guardians, but the actual
What the fuck are they
rankings,
guarding?
space.
Yeah, they're not there.
Yeah, what you're looking at is something that actually happened when Space Force first got
Dude, you gotta see that.
Let me see it. Yeah, that's not true. that's bullshit.
No, you're bullshit. That's absolutely true.
What site is that on?
Military.com.
I'm on military.com. It's completely different.
No.
Here, let's go straight to the Space Force website.
Same as the Air
I mean-
Force. As the Air Force uses like one stripe per rank, so an E7 will have 7 stripes, and E8 will have 8 stripes.
So E1 through 4, they're all just specialists.
All of them?
Specialist 1, Specialist 2, Specialist 3, Specialist 4. Then you got E5 is still a sergeant. Then it mirrors the Air Force. Sergeant, Tech Sergeant, Master Sergeant, Senior Master
How is
Sergeant.
there no spaceforce.mil?
There is.
He's on it right now.
I just try to get to it.
They said no.
They heard you.
Are you blocking my shit?
They heard you. They said you wanted to commission. They're like, nah, we're not gonna.
They're guardian. Yeah, they're called guardians.
Yeah, that's what I mean, bro.
Oh, okay. So guardians will wear Air Force rank insignia until the Space Force finalizes its own rank.
Ah, so they don't have one yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So, they are the same as the Air Force right now.
So they are putting spaceships on their
But
shoulders.
instead of airmen, they're specialists.
They're putting spaceships on their shoulders with stripes, bro.
Oh, God. Don't do it.
They're called guardians, bro. Come on,
don't
man.
do it.
You know they're gonna go with some goofy, like a fucking,
I'm waiting for the Marine Corps to have their space division,
like
so we
over
have
the
Space
pectoral
Marines.
fucking Class A's with the Mandarin collar.
Oh yeah.
The freaking dude, come on, man. Yeah, they're
But
gonna
they're-
go with that.
Their officers, I'm pretty sure, is going to be the same as the rest of the branches. The only branch that deviates is the Navy, and it's traditional. So
Yeah, the Navy's got a fuck ton of uniforms and
yeah,
traditions.
3.
Uh,
Well, they do have the dumbest uniform in the world.
oh,
And
which
the
one?
Oldest.
The blue digis.
Oh, yeah, let's fall
Yeah,
into the
the
ocean.
Blue
Like,
digis. How the fuck are we gonna find you, bro?
Yeah,
they were jealous.
just to blend in with
You
the
go.
water.
What do you blend? You blend in with water? Is that the opposite of what you need to do?
Yeah,
You know why they didn't use the Marpat?
because the Marines wouldn't let them.
Yeah, because they copyrighted it.
Because it's copyright.
No,
Yeah.
some sailors do use it.
Well, those are Fleet Marine Force. They're off.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
not.
but yeah, that's
Foreman.
Yeah.
that's different. But
It's
Yeah.
pretty much our Marines, except in name. Yeah, that's it.
No, they're doc.
Well, theirs is Navy.
Yeah, they're Fleet Marine Force. But
When they go to a funeral, they wear the whites.
yeah,
So
but the I don't know why they got rid of the utility, like their regular utility uniform. They went to that stupid blue digi.
I don't know.
It's
Dude,
so
I-
dumb.
Never joined the Navy.
yeah, but they spend billions in that damn uniform, bro.
Still not as bad as the armies though.
True. The ACU was a lot more of a waste of money. The ACU?
Yeah,
The ACU was an absolute
Blended with
failure.
gravel,
Yeah,
maybe,
I mean,
Not even. No, it blends in more with like shitty tile or couches.
and terrible quality too.
Yeah, it was. And Velcro everywhere.
Oh yeah, I've got what's the new flavor? OCP.
Is it OCP? We called it like, what was it called? Multicam.
Yeah. So I have one of those tops that my brother gave me. I got my old Marpat top too, and I was like, let's look at the difference here. Dude, Marine Corps stuff all the way. I know you wore it for a time, and the Marine Corps was like, we're just gonna go with normal stuff and just regular buttons.
Yeah,
And that was the thing. The whole reason that the Army went from BDUs to ACUs was because of the Marine Corps. Because the Marine Corps' digital pattern. The Army wanted to replicate it somehow, but they absolutely failed in doing so.
The
Yeah,
thing
well,
is, they
that's,
had the OCP before.
Right, they did.
So
It was an option before the ACU,
Yeah.
but whoever proposed it got a serious promotion.
No, that person's in jail.
Are they?
Yeah. But if I remember correctly, the general that spearheaded that ended up, I don't know if he's actually in jail or if he had to pay a fuck ton of money to stay out of jail or what the whole deal was.
What was he doing? Backdoor deals?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Nice.
forced it because he on a roundabout way owned the companies that made them.
Well, it was obvious. It was obvious to everybody that was carrying a rifle for a
Yeah,
living.
everybody that had to wear the damn thing.
Yeah.
Everybody had to. That somebody got paid off.
Oh, for
Obvious.
sure.
It was obvious because that uniform blended in nowhere, failed all the tests,
Yep.
and
It was-
publicized that
Yeah.
it failed all the tests. So the OCP or the multicam was the one that came up front runner. It was an Army Times.
Yeah.
And it went with the shittiest one because it belonged to some fucking douchebag. And what I want to know is how many soldiers died as a consequence of not being able to blend in with the environment.
The old BDU blended in better than that crowd.
I'm going to
Like-
say they should be
Firewalls.
responsible for all of them.
Like, if you like, that's just should be a thing. Like, if you died wearing that horrible camouflage,
The family should be entitled
your
to
family should be
restitutions from
entitled
that
to
guy.
some kind of compensation because it's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure that if you took enemy fire, I wouldn't say so much about IEDs, but if you took enemy fire by i.e. rocket propelled grenades or fucking
Direct
small
fire, yeah.
direct fire, you were wearing that uniform when you died, your family should get
You
compensation.
stuck out like a
So
sore thumb.
you couldn't blend in anywhere, bro.
Yeah.
There's parts of Kunar, man, northern Afghanistan, and some of these other places where you can see a squad of freaking
Yeah.
101st guys just walking the ridge, and they weren't even highlighted by they weren't even walking on the top of the ridge. They just walking alongside of it. You can see them.
Clear as
You're
day,
fucking. It's a full click away. You're like,
Jesus. Damn.
there they are.
And that's the thing,
You know,
the biggest
it's-
indicator, like, for anybody that wants to argue that point, of like, oh no, it was a good camouflage scheme. I don't know anybody
Nobody.
that would. Right. But
Nobody.
the biggest indicator would be name a vehicle that was painted the same camouflage scheme. Name one vehicle that was painted the same camouflage scheme. Because there are plenty of vehicles that were painted in woodland green or BDU,
Yeah.
which is what we wore back in the day. That's what I
Or
started
MD1.
wearing.
Right.
Or there's plenty of vehicles that are painted plain solid color, green or tan. There are plenty of vehicles that are now being painted, converted to the multicam pattern, or the, what is it called? The APU.
OCP, is what I've heard.
OCP pattern. So
Yeah.
there
Which, by all intents
and
and
weapons.
Yeah.
Weapons were painted the same kind of camouflage pattern
Oh,
that we
man.
were wearing.
You know how hard it is to get some of these commanders to realize that black guns stand out?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can't paint your weapons. Only special forces can.
Man,
We all gotta hide, damn it.
my M4 in Iraq was like
They're looking for
silver.
soldiers, not bushes. Yeah. That Family Guy episode? Yeah. You guys are idiots.
Was he dressed like a clown?
He's a clown, yeah.
Dressed like a clown.
You guys are idiots. They're looking for soldiers.
Yeah, the OCP is by scientific standards, a better camouflage than the Marine Corps MARPAT.
Yes,
Because it
blends into
works
more
better.
environments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a better single camouflage. The Marine Corps is just kind of stuck in their ways.
But the Marine Corps has variants on that camouflage. They have a woodland and a desert for
Yes.
that camouflage
And
pattern.
they also have a winter. They have a snow one.
Do they?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. They have a snow one.
But do they have a water one?
No.
Why not?
Why not U.S. Navy?
Because it's fucking stupid.
Because it's dumb. Like, I would have understood if the Navy went to a Rogue Guard vest orange,
Right?
top and bottom.
Right, that would make sense.
I would have been like, you know what?
But
that
they
makes
couldn't.
sense.
That
They
makes
couldn't
sense.
because of the carrier operation guys.
Right.
They already
like,
wear colored
and
tops.
reflective, high visibility stuff
Well, they're color coded for their.
for a specific job
Yeah.
on deck.
Yeah.
But they had the regular like. The,
Y'all watch Space Force when they get a utility uniform, it's gonna be fucking black with like white specks in it.
Oh, fuck
Why?
you.
Starlight.
Fuck you. That's,
Blend in with space.
God
Oh.
damn, fucking polka dots. Fucking unbelievable. different sizes.
Yeah.
This star's further than this one.
They're gonna call it something stupid too, like nighttime urban or some crap like that. You know? All this stupid
Constellation
shit.
camouflage.
Yeah, constellation camouflage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Constellation pattern.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
The void uniform.
The void uniform.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! Those people, man, they
Don't
got
forget your glow
put
belt.
spaceships inside of our with stripes. Little spaceships. With,
Man, I don't doubt
dude,
it.
I don't
doubt it.
telling you.
So, yeah, as soon as they finalize the design of their rank structure, yeah, it's probably gonna look Star Trek-y as shit.
It is.
like
I
what you
mean,
say.
look at their main logo.
Well, it's not. Yeah,
How could you look at that?
and a lot of people have called them out for like Bogart and like anything sci-fi, from like Star Trek to Battlestar Galactica.
But why wouldn't they?
To, what else do you got to go by? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna go off of popular sci-fi space forces.
Right.
So,
Because like their dress uniform right now is that diagonal thing that looks like straight out of Battlestar Galactica.
That over pectoral freaking thing with
Yeah.
the Mandarin collar,
Yeah.
like right out of Battlestar Galactica.
I keep fucking with people too. It's like, no, that's not Battlestar Galactica. That's the original like Patton's tank crew uniform.
Well, it
It
is.
it kind of is.
It resembles.
It resembles it. That's
It
it.
also resembles a chef's coat.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So does the Navy's.
But you can say whatever you want to say about it. You know, it's just kind of, I don't know, man. Those freaking people, man. As soon as they call themselves Guardians, I was like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's done. This
Really?
is.
Guardians of the Galaxy? What, you dipshits take a vote or something?
It was at the same time that movie was being really super popular. So it was
Yeah,
right around
yeah,
that
you're
same
right.
time too. It's like, Guardians. Oh shit! Why are you going through an obstacle course in basic training then?
Yeah.
It.
Yeah, they qualify on M16s.
Yeah.
For what? Where are the phasers?
Yeah, they should carry tasers. That's how you.
Just to
Just to
just to
take-
be yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just tasers. That's all you get. Oh. I mean, come on, man. Those people, man. I don't understand it. They gotta do something goofy.
Like my balls off if somebody actually gets one past all the scrutiny and like the people trying to like weed out stuff.
Mhm.
Get some rank structure in there. It looks like out of Starship Troopers,
Bro,
which is based on the Nazis.
you know what they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna get ahead of the Marine Corps and coin the first Space Marines.
Fuck, they will.
Oh, they will.
They will.
America will not let that happen.
Oh,
Marine Corps is going to have to eat it.
just gotta
Yeah.
eat it. Be the first guys out there in power armor.
Yeah.
They're getting
Get a space shuttle door gunner. Yeah.
walking around with that crazy ass exoskeleton.
That's fine. They can have door gunners.
Look at that crazy ass exoskeleton that we're fielding.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
They're always trying the exoskeleton thing.
you can't do 3 to 5 second rushes in that thing, bro.
No.
That's the thing.
You can't get low enough to the ground either.
You don't have to.
Well, you do.
You
You don't have
get-
any fucking armor on.
Yeah.
So, you know, a fucking 8 foot tall fucking person
Yeah.
can't squat. You know, they can't take a knee to get away from fucking small arm fire. It's a
Master
problem.
Chief right there.
Now those like little robotic dogs could be useful for just moving gear.
Oh, well, they had the mule for a while, that little
Yeah.
M-Gator
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
thing. They had that
The
for
Boston
a while.
Dynamics robot?
Boston
Yeah.
Dynamics
Mhm.
fucking mule. That was a thing for a while, but
What I see next for the Space Force probably isn't a Marine thing, but the Space Force trying to inject themselves into that Special Operations funds. It's like the Air Force did with their weather tellers.
They have their own budget.
yeah, oh yeah.
The Space Force already has Special Operations.
They are essentially special operations.
They are special operations.
They're their own service branch.
There
Exactly.
isn't anything conventional about space, bro. Or anything about space.
But the Force,
Nothing.
the Force itself is not.
There's nothing conventional about them.
You gonna look up what
They
their
put it
budget
this
is?
way, they fucking came around and told you we're special operations. What you do? Oh, Space Force.
Call
Well,
it out
fuck.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can curse at them, but
They don't need it because
Technically.
they. What?
technically,
What are they gonna do
by
on the ground?
definition of the word. I mean, but yeah, fuck those guys. Fuck you. They go fuck off in zero gravity for all I give a shit.
They don't have Special Operations yet. That's what I'm waiting on. They're gonna somehow try to dip into that Special Operations.
Well, yeah, they have to. A lot of the stuff they're gonna be doing, even in time of war, is gonna be classified. So goddamn classified. So,
No, we're bullshitting sitting around like, fantasizing about sci-fi crap that, what they do is satellite tracking, mostly.
What they say they do.
Right.
Yeah.
What's officially a part of their thing is satellite tracking. Anything in space, yeah. Anything military in space. What they actually do?
I would dare to say that the purpose, or basically what the Space Force does, has been around since the first satellite went into the orbit. Though it
The
was
Air
part
Force used to do
right.
Yeah.
So
Kind of
Totally
like,
a preview of the Air Force. The Air Force Spatial Operations. There's, what's it called? Space Operations Command or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
but they are super secret, highly classified back then.
well, that's what these guys are.
Hmm.
So because the Air Force was like, no, we're not calling.
But they just need more money
no,
now.
we're not calling you Guardians. Well, we want our own branch.
Well, it was Trump that did that.
Yeah, Trump. He's a fucking child.
But he put his name on it. He fucking created the fucking Space Force. Like, come on.
Yeah, I got it. I
Signed
gave it
up.
to him. That's badass, but you fucking child. It's like, grow up, man.
Oh, man.
I was like, Space Force, really? They're trying to throw you in jail, bro. Worry about that shit. Oh my god, man. But, Lord have mercy, man. But yeah, we were talking also about, like, these little conversations, these little things is usually how this is what sprouted this podcast to begin with. It was kind of like the just us sitting there, just BSing under a tree or something, just kind of like talking about things. But for me, it ties in with Veterans Day pretty good, and so the idea of recording, having like a recorded little history of conversations and just who you are, just kind of getting a glimpse of what the hell you're up to, what you're thinking about, came from this guy called Eric Varela, otherwise affectionately known as Sonny. So Sonny died a few years ago from cancer. None of us knew that he had cancer, and before he passed away, we had a conversation on Facebook. We were BSing, and he didn't say about podcasting, because podcasting wasn't as prevalent as it is nowadays. But he's the one that said, record these, these moments for your kids. Record these moments, for your kids and for those that love you and whatever, just so they can actually go back in time and forever and ever and ever, as long as we live, your family members are going to be able to come back to this little moment in time and just watch you laugh and watch you talk, no matter how old you get or how dead you are. It's like, you know what I mean? They'll be able to come back and be like, oh, that's the guy I knew, because it's and I gave it some thought, and it made sense, but I just didn't know how to go about it. Right. And that idea kind of rolled into our conversations that we were having, and with you, Farmer, and then next thing you know, it was kind of like, oh shit, let's do this. Yeah. I mean, we can actually put something together.
It's part of the reason I've stuck to it and invested what I've invested into it is because we've never had that conversation before, but I had the same kind of mindset. Like, when I go or when I get old, or even, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is oral history. Mm-hmm. From our individual's perspective.
Yeah, even for us, our individual perspective,
And we're each of us are only one person. We can each observe one aspect of life, our own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's it. We just have one person's viewpoint of everything else that's going around. That's why we get together and discuss and talk and try to bring up stuff and history and current events and all that stuff.
We do have a good mix here, too.
Well, not with you. There's too many white people around. There's no diversity. The walls don't count.
Oh my god, dude. I'm not white, right?
That's what I said to them. There's usually like a mix, like at least there's half brown in this motherfucker.
This fucking guy. He's wearing red suspenders under that, right?
Yeah, alright. I'll take the shirt off right now.
Don't do it, please. I don't want to lose viewers.
We'll be fine. We'll recover.
Hey, eventually, yeah. Statistically speaking, we should. I mean, hell, Steven Crowder's still talking crazy.
Yeah.
That dude about beat his wife on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Did he though?
No, he just talked a lot of shit to her. But that's to be expected. He's a bit of a crybaby.
He has been.
So,
I've seen a couple of his things where he kind of went off the hook. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
yeah, he's a bit of a crybaby. But that's all right. I mean, he's done a great job with him and his people. He's
He
done
built a huge business and a huge following.
business. Oh, yeah. So credit's due to him, you know. He really pushed the envelope on a lot of things. Really made a lot of people think, to be honest, with those Change My Mind episodes that he's done. He was very respectful to a lot of people that didn't deserve any respect.
True.
So, but yeah, I mean, but that's the whole purpose of one of the little side quests of our podcast. Just kind of record ourselves just to in this time and place and just kind of have that little thing there for posterity. But also in the process of that, trying to encourage you guys to kind of think outside the box, look at what's going on. And maybe even have some kind of commonality with us. It's like, man, I'm not the only one that's thinking that this shit that's happening nowadays is crazy.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks this is bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of, if you don't have that group of people kind of like we have today, then maybe you can at least watch this or listen to this wherever you're at and just kind of like, oh shit, I'm not alone. This shit is crazy. And then do your research. Start looking around and start digging in there and try to find out what's what. When you see stuff about Palestine, remember, unless you've got access to the metadata of that video that's being shot, and to be perfectly honest, 100%, I pulled out one of those videos, ripped it, checked out the metadata blank.
Nice.
So these guys are buffing.
Yep.
But the only metadata I got, I couldn't see the device that originally found it.
The date.
I couldn't see the only thing I got out of that metadata was resolution and size. That you can't erase.
Nope.
That's there.
Yeah,
that's
because it is the
that's
video.
a property of the video.
Yep.
But I couldn't extract any metadata that made any kind of sense. So no date of filming, no nothing. So a lot of these things don't fall trap for this stuff because that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
They want to keep you divided. They want to keep people thinking in opposite directions and pulling in opposite directions, so they can do their own freaking nefarious nonsense right under your nose. So this stuff in Israel is freaking crazy. A lot of people are dying on both sides of the freaking fence there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll stop at some point. Unfortunately, it'll probably stop with the eradication of these people because
it's going to get worse before it gets better.
It's going to get worse before it gets a lot better.
I think it's going to involve most of the world, if not the entire world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the direction it's going. That's at least my opinion about these indicators that we talked about today.
Right.
And what's going on and what's being prepared for.
We're hurtling into World War III, and don't mistake it for 1 second that we do have bad actors of terror inside our nation. With Joe Biden's horrible freaking border policies and whatever that he's done, this traitor has opened the door for bad things to happen to all of us. And so just be vigilant, head on a swivel, love your family, love your neighbors, but pay attention to this stuff because they may deny that there was a training camp in Mexico, but I'm going to tell you that as far as operational security goes, having a training camp just before your line of departure is, we do it with CRC.
Yeah.
You go to CRC before you jump, before you go.
Yep.
Make sure your freaking SRP packets are together, everything's good to go, you got your freaking will and your testament, everything's good to go, your shots are up to date, and make sure you got all the latest and the greatest intel classes and what you're about to go do, and then you launch. That's, depending on what kind of CRC you do, you can end up, CRC could include ISOFAC, going into something. So having a training facility that ramps up these guys before they cross the border is super freaking important. Because once they get to Mexico, they know that is no longer a choke point for them.
Right.
If they have a training camp southern of the border, that means that they have unfettered access through the line of departure into the area of operations without any chance of interception, which is why they don't train them. Well, they try not to train them prior. Because if you get captured along the way, you have a lot of information that you've acquired before you depart it, and if you get captured along the way, they can extract a lot of it. But if you don't know dick, you get down there, and then you get all your knowledge, and then you launch, ain't nobody gonna intercept you.
No, and your biggest hurdle is Border Patrol, which they're not doing much because they're by their
you
orders.
don't have to talk to them.
Or the local law enforcement.
You don't have to talk to them.
Well, local
That's
law
the thing.
enforcement is trying to do stuff, but
have to-
there's only it's
You catch Habibi
right.
in a pickup truck doing something. Let's say he don't even have bombs or nothing crazy. He's speeding. What are you gonna do?
You can't do much.
You can't do anything. So let's say he doesn't have driver's license. You can't do anything. You ticket him. That's about it. With whatever information. I mean, if you suspect that he's falsely IDing, then that's a different story. You can go in a different direction. But it's not a whole lot you can do unless you got some enhancers that you could assist you in an arrest.
Right.
It's not a whole lot you can do. So yeah, this is the southern border is no longer a choke point. It's unfettered access from line of departure into the outer operations into our rear, basically. So.
But they're not
General-
staying at the rear. They travel.
No, it's our rear because our front lines is the border.
Right.
If they get a mile into Texas, they're in our rear.
Right.
So it's and it was facilitated by Ricardo Mayorkas, the head of Homeland Security, who's now facing impeachment proceedings. So they're bringing articles of impeachment. That guy should face a firing
I
squad.
don't know how the hell he's facing impeachment. He wasn't elected.
Well, you can question it, but I
No,
saw
I got you.
I saw it.
No, I'm not questioning
Yeah.
that's happening. I'm just wondering why they're doing
Marjorie
that.
Taylor Greene brought it up. Articles of impeachment. Or Mayorkas. But so this man was proposing to get full control access to the budget for Department of Homeland Security in order to shift funds away from ICE. I mean, what's the purpose of that? There's a lot. So there's a lot, is what I'm getting at. We could talk on that topic for hours, but do your research. Look it up. There's a lot going on. And it's not all good. But yeah, freaking, that's about all I got, man. So we got, we don't have anything else for you guys, so just make sure that you give us a like on, hit the like button, subscribe.
Before we go, do you have a YouTube channel we can plug or something?
Not right now. No.
Well, yeah. What are your plans?
Don't you lie to us.
What are your plans?
I mean, I do have a channel.
There we go.
I don't have anything on it yet.
What is it?
It's Mr. Farmer Johnson.
Mr. Farmer Johnson on YouTube.
I do have my off-road channel,
What is that one?
Farmer Johnson Off-Road.
Farmer Johnson Off-Road.
And that's obviously geared towards off-roading.
You don't say.
Yeah.
I wonder how it got its name. All right.
Guys,
I know.
this fucking dude, man. Yeah, so,
Or you go give me a slice of your birthday cake.
Of course.
or you can have
I
a,
just want a slice of birthday cake.
oh yeah, the Marine Corps birthday
Yeah.
cake. Yeah, that's funny. The Marine Corps birthday Kit Kat. Yeah, but yeah, so give us a like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on all the other social media platforms. Like I said, we're on Patreon. We're gonna be on. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Marine Corps. Fucking thanks for keeping America America.
That's disgusting.
And,
It's a circus animal crackers.
that's right.
Yep. That's what this is.
That's right. All mushed into a Kit Kat. Boy.
Yeah.
Fucking crayons would be better.
Oh, they use a freaking pill press. This ain't bad. Oh, it's not the best, but yeah, damn. Yeah, but no. My brain hasn't decided whether this is good or not. So, like us, like us, and subscribe. And you could check out Farmer's channel. You don't have Dick in it, so.
No. You got a couple videos, right? They're older, but you got a couple things
On
on.
my off-road channel.
Okay, the off-road
Okay.
channel is where you
My
have this
off-road
content
channel,
right now.
I've got all my content. I've got some older stuff from when I ran my company.
Okay.
But now I've just got some off-roading stuff.
All right. We'll be sure to put a link in
Yeah,
the
we're looking
description
forward
of this
to
video.
looking forward to collaborate with you. I actually got I made contact with a videographer.
Oh, outstanding,
You just added us on
outstanding.
on IG. He's local from here,
Oh,
from Cove.
that's awesome.
So as soon as I start talking to him, I'll plug him
I wonder
out.
if he's the one that's got that Volkswagen Golf.
I don't know, man.
There's a 4-door Golf that was running around, had the gyro set up on the back corner.
I don't think he's that. I don't think his budget's that big,
Oh, okay.
but he does some pretty decent videos.
Right on.
So we're looking at some collabs and whatnot. So we throw you in there because it's more applicable for what you want to do.
Mhm.
But yeah. But like I said a dozen times, like, subscribe.
Yeah, share.
Don't forget, share.
Comment.
We're on
Talk to us.
Spotify,
Call us out if we're
Amazon
wrong.
Music, Patreon. We're on all the social medias.
We're not geniuses. We don't claim to have all the facts. So if we're wrong on something, let us know.
Yeah, comments. Comments. Give us comments. Give us some feedback, and let us know. You know, and yeah.
We always
Besides
keep
that-
all comments open. Nothing's restricted.
Yeah. Besides that, that's all I got. So see you guys. See you guys soon.
If we're still here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If we don't melt away in a ball of fire. You know. Thanks, boy. Turd. All right. Bye.